Hello, hello. Testing, testing. Let's see. Hopefully everything is all set up now. Okay. Let's make sure everything is working. Anniversaries. Okay, hang on. I think I'm joining this call. Okay.
Yo, I went to lose. Hello.
Hello, people.
Hello.
I'm Urbanus, Gib. Nice to see. Wait, yeah, you're Gib, right? Yes.
Yeah,
Sorry
yeah.
if I... Okay.
Oh,
Nice to meet you as
it's
well.
it's Shanyeon.
It's what?
No, it's not Shanyeon. Fuck. What was the fucking Genshin character? What's called?
Jinyan.
Oh, Shanyeon. It was right.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's your
Is
avatar.
he so forgettable?
You're not wrong.
Yeah, it took me a hot minute to realize. Okay.
Yo, Jenazet. Hello.
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 Thank you for joining.
Big.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
All right.
Yeah, we are all kind of ZZZ shield, so kind of good to have somebody in there who is not.
Yeah,
Shanna
sure
is
thing.
actually the biggest ZZZ show.
True. Let's wait for the others first for a hot minute here. Have to turn down Vuva music, it's way too loud.
Okay.
Can you guys just randomly talk?
Yo.
Oh, what's up?
Good,
Everything
perfect.
fine?
Just have to adjust stream volume just so people can actually hear you. That would probably be helpful.
Okay. Yeah, just setting up a poll for the people, and let's see. Okay. I think I'm got most. I just got home, so sorry guys.
Oh, no worries. Still waiting for the others anyway.
Yeah. So
I know ALG is busy gaming right now, so.
All right. Okay, so how you guys doing?
Killing.
Oh, going pretty good.
It's great.
Not bad, not bad.
Can't
Any of you guys
complain.
played Expedition 33? Banger.
It's
Bro,
on my
I should
wish
not play
list,
it.
but
That game is gas.
That game is so good.
yeah, it's on my wish list, but I'm currently kind of addicted to Vuva, so.
Oh, really?
Yo, Rivenus has come back.
Yeah, true. I don't know, I saw the live stream and was like, holy shit, I kind of feel like playing again.
Good stuff.
I
Man.
don't
Win to
know.
lose. You would do a lot of guides and stuff on it, right?
Yes. I try to keep up with the main character releases for all the games that I'm playing. That's my main focus and priority. So
Yeah, you play a lot, right? You play at least like 3 or 4.
I play more, I guess, but yeah, I cover Genshin, as well as Zenless and Wuthering Waves, primarily just like gameplay focused stuff, mainly just teaching people how to use the characters. I'm just a guide maker in the space. Yeah, so
Okay.
I don't typically, dive into discussions like this, but once a year, maybe I will kind of talk about the anniversary rewards about Genshin. So, good old Genshin.
Hey, good old Genshin.
Yeah.
The OG. Yo,
Oh,
Goba,
man.
hello.
Yo.
The bear is too quiet.
What's
as
up,
well.
Guoba? I see you invaded our chat with ducks.
Yeah,
Man.
Discord gave me chat backgrounds, so I gave like 20 different chats, different backgrounds.
Oh, so we're the ducks. Care to explain why?
I just thought it was the cutest. That didn't like because some of them like pinch the whole screen. I thought that'd be a bit too much.
Oh my. Oh wow.
What? Like, this
So
crazy.
back to ducks.
Whoa.
Oh wow. Is there
Yeah,
a way
harvest
for
farm
me
crazy.
to? Is there a way for me to hide like my DMs list on Discord so I can show it? Oh well. Let's see.
I have no idea.
No.
Like,
By the way,
take
it hides the names, but I don't think it hides it fully.
You would have to like have part of it on one monitor and part of it be on the other monitor.
oh man. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
alas. Alas.
Yo, ALG, hello.
Hello. Sorry. Sorry I was late. I missed the call. I was distracted. But
Yeah, no
hello,
worries. That
everyone.
makes £100 for each of us.
But yeah, it's nice to meet y'all. I feel like I only really know Riv, so it's nice to get in the room and say hi to some other big gacha creators. Hello, Gib. Hello, Goober.
Yo.
Hello, I Win to Lose. Hello, Janazad. Big fan.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Nice to meet you.
Yo.
So
nice to
no,
meet
only
everybody.
Kenna is missing, right? Yeah.
I've never talked to any of you guys on a call or anything like that, so thanks for inviting me. Nice to meet everybody.
Yeah,
Riv, what's
thanks
the
for
plan? What are we doing? What are we
I'm
yapping?
not
So-
sure actually. Riv kind of threw us all in a room to fight or something.
Yes. I just missed yapping with you all. Kind of funny. No, I thought what would be interesting is just to talk a little bit about ZZZ, especially in regards to 2.0. Thinking about, okay, what are our current points, our current thoughts of the game? Is it in a good state? Is it not in a good state? What do we like? What do we dislike? And then talk about our expectations for ZZZ. And afterwards, maybe also touch on the anniversary maybe a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on Hoyo right now after they
Oh, yeah.
fumbled. The last anniversaries, regardless of which game, have kind of been fumbled a little bit.
Honestly, if we
So-
get anything close to Wuwa's anniversary, I'll bust a nut. Genuinely.
Yeah, I guess
Really?
expectations shouldn't be too high, but then I don't know.
It's still Hoyoverse at the end of the day. I mean, I feel like they have like something to prove, but yeah, it's still Hoyoverse at the end of the day. No,
They kind of have to prove a lot, actually.
I think we can be hopeful, but I think we're setting ourselves up for failure if we set up our communities thinking that we're gonna get something actually good, yo.
I'm going in no expectations.
Hmm.
Well, maybe
Yeah,
set
but,
your expectations low, but be maybe a little optimistic.
Yeah, I think that's probably the smartest play.
Yeah. So, would everybody like to introduce them shortly? That probably is be pretty helpful.
Are we starting like the whole thing now?
If everybody's ready, I mean, Kenna is missing, but Kenna also isn't answering. So,
All right, you guys go first.
Alright, I am Gib. I play Girls Frontline 2. Great game I play every day. Zenless and Wuwa. And yeah, and I like Jinyan, it's my profile picture, but I don't even play Genshin anymore because the game fell off, unfortunately. But Zvani's coming out in Wuwa, pretty hype. And I like Soldier 11 and Zenless. That's about it. Next person. Also, Kana said, sorry gamers, give me a sec.
Ah, yes.
Okay, cool.
I guess I'll go. I win to lose. Nice to meet you guys. I've been somehow making gacha videos now for so many years, and it's completely unintentional, but here I am, and life is just weird like that. So it's great to meet you guys. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Cool. Well, I'm Average Luck Gamer. I've been making videos about Zenless Zone Zero for the last, well, since Zenless Zone Zero came out. So I haven't really covered any other gacha games. But I played Genshin for about 2 years before that. And I kind of just enjoy playing Zenless at the moment. I'm thinking about foraying into other gachas, so maybe I can take some advice from y'all.
Girls
But,
Frontline too.
Girls Frontline too, yeah, maybe. But yeah, I got some things to think about. But I have been trying to stream like WooWar and stuff. So yeah, potentially we'll be foraying to other stuff too. I mostly just make YouTube stuff, but I do occasionally stream as well. Trying to do more. That's me.
All right. I guess I'll just introduce myself. Why are you guys being so awkward? This feels so stiff.
This
I
feels so
know,
smooth.
right?
I don't know
Yeah,
who
yeah,
goes
come on,
when.
guys.
Yeah, chat's already yelling at
Chill,
me.
you know. So I'm a Genocide. I don't really play Zenless Zone Zero, so I think it's kind of funny I'm here. I guess I'm like sort of an opposing side in a weird way, but I mostly play Wuthering Waves and kind of just a lot of gachas like Girls Frontline 2, Epic 7, Wizardry, Limbus Company, Nikkei. Like I just play a lot of different gachas. And I just like talking about games and stuff, so I'm always happy to be on podcasts and stuff like that. So thanks for inviting me.
Good stuff,
big,
man.
big.
Welcome. Okay, hang on. Sorry, guys. I talk more, but I'm trying to set up some stuff for my stream. So,
Oh, good.
yeah, sorry.
Good.
I don't.
Sorry for the.
Yo,
Holy
Connor,
God,
you want to
my
go or
voice.
you want me to go?
You can go.
Okay, wait, I need to put you up. You're so low on my side.
Hang on.
I'm
You have like a
Goba.
different mic.
Well, Connor?
Yeah. Are you sick?
Anna's busy writing.
Who are we talking to?
My
Wait, we
mic
can hear
thing
you typing,
broke.
Kana,
Yeah.
but we can't hear your
Bro, you sound like
voice.
a whole different person. I was like, who is that? Bro, it's Connor was talking. I thought like a different person joined.
Okay.
Is he just gone? Okay, well, I'll
Rip.
introduce myself real quick. Hi, I'm Goba, a Honkai Star Rail guide maker. I did a bit of Zenless, but not enough time for me, so I'm Honkai Star Rail One Trick. And lovely to meet you all.
Nice
Lovely to meet you
Boba.
as well again.
Welcome.
Hello?
Even though we've done kills
Can you guys
before.
hear me now? Oh,
Yes.
sorry. Okay. Sorry, I am sick. I don't know what I caught, but as you can tell, I've got like, is this like morning voice? My voice is just
Wait,
like
is that
this
Kana?
all the
Yeah,
time.
I thought you
Yeah,
were.
you
You just sound
you
like
sound
you
weird
deep
as
throated
well.
something.
Sorry,
I'm
I'm
I
sorry,
thought you were a
man.
whole different person, bro. I was like, what? I hope you recover
Sorry, man.
fast, though.
Yeah, just you can make me like you can put someone in front of me or something. I can just be I could be a knock or something today. Some like alter ego. I guess I should do my introduction. Hi guys. If you didn't know, I'm a Zenless guide maker. I also cover a couple other stuff. Like I still cover stuff like Epic 7. Have been covering other gacha games as well, but just in general, I'm a Zenless guide maker, and yeah, I still do play like all the gachas, which is something that is rotting my brain. And yeah, but I am pretty caught up with like a lot of the gachas. Sorry, I got a bit too sold by Zany. I am all in on S6 Zany, but yeah, yeah, dude, I have to. There's no choice. That character is too cool.
Yeah, well then, get well soon. You don't sound too healthy. Yeah, I'm Rivenous. I'm a Zenless guide maker, mostly at least on over on YouTube. Trying to get a little bit more into streaming because, you know, just making videos 24/7 kind of rots the brain. I play Star Rail otherwise, and currently I'm really big into WooWar, back at it. Trying to get as many Astride as I can for Carlotta and Rocha. And then, I don't know, I'm gonna skip Zani instead, so...
Holy.
Yeah, I don't know. I like other characters more.
You were
But
banned
anyway.
from the Wuthering Waves Discord, buddy.
True, that's okay. I'm actually not even in there anymore. Anyway, cool. Yeah, I would like to know basically what I want. Wait, actually, I should probably start. So, the basic idea again is pretty much to just simply talk a little bit about Zenless, and what our current opinions are on the game, what we like, what we dislike, why we play it, or in the case of Genocide, why we don't play it. That's also, again, thank you very much for being here. I think it's very valuable to have a voice from the other side, because very obviously we all really like the game. But there also seem to be a lot of reasons why you might not like the game, and I think it's very valuable to simply have that opinion as well on that side of that viewpoint. So yeah, I would like to simply start. If somebody feels like wanting to voice their opinion on what they like or dislike currently about Zenless.
I just did the most recent Shiyu that just reset, and it is absolutely terrible. The enemies, the human enemies, they have to get, like, the guy that created them, he just got to get blown up. I'm not gonna lie. The enemies, like, they like shoot at you from different directions, and then they dash at you, and their parry windows are terrible. And you, even when you have Nicole, the shield guys, when they're grouped up, they take no damage because the shield is supposed to block the damage in front of them, but instead they have some like force field where they take no damage from like any directions at all, and it's just bad.
Can anyone else confirm that, or is that a skill issue?
You know
Not a
what?
skill issue.
I will play through it
Yeah,
right
bro,
now.
Same as the RPG guys in the Tower Adversity.
Let's take a look.
I did also hear it's kind of bad because they decided to put ice weakness, I think, and like ether weakness or something, or ice resistance on like every single side or something. Like I think the last stage is like ice resistance on one side, and then I think it's either ice resistance again on the other, or it's like another prevalent one, because I think people are trying to run.
Yeah, it also
like
makes
Jane.
no sense. Yeah, Jane just came out with Vivian, and for some reason the robot, instead of doing Friday, they chose hands, and it's ether weak, but then physical resistant. That makes no sense. Well, I don't know what they were cooking with that.
Guys, do we think that maybe we might be going too deep right now?
Yeah, I would argue that as well.
Who don't really get into the game. Let's
Jenna
ask a
just
real
sitting here like, the fuck are these guys talking about?
Can we ask the real
Within 2
questions?
seconds of it starting, blow this dev up. Okay, and then I'm just like,
Yeah.
Well,
It seemed to go a little far there.
Things I love about Zenless Zone Zero is Soldier 11 and Evelyn. Very, very enjoyable characters. I enjoy everything. And I just got C3 Soldier 11.
Thanks, Gib. So who do the rest of y'all goon to?
Everyone.
Wait. Hey, wait a second. What do you mean by that? I thought we were all very wholesome in this call, actually. We only play gacha games for the art. Like,
Honestly, I'm
isn't
trying to
that why we're
lighten the
here?
mood. Honestly, I'm
Look,
trying
I've
to
seen a
lighten
lot.
the mood.
I've seen a lot of Zenless Zone Zero, and it was not in game.
Oh man.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. I personally think ZZZ in itself is currently in a pretty good spot. I think especially since I will actually say 1.3 onwards, but mainly 1.4, they've done a lot of, devs listened. So that is pretty good. However, I think they still have to do a lot of work on the UI. Fortunately, the map UI, they already announced. I hope they make it great again, because right now it's not that. And aside from that, I'm honestly a little bit worried about power creep. Not necessarily in terms of the characters, but in terms of HP inflation. That is something which currently looks a little bit bad for certain characters, especially if you are kinda gated by basically not having a good DPS. So for example, currently, just to get back to the Shio topic, but the first site in Shio 7.1 is electric weak, has an ice resistance. I mean, where you can still brute force everything with Miyabi, but that's just a Miyabi thing. But regardless, the problem is either you have Soldier 0 MB or Yanagi, and even then, Yanagi felt honestly kinda bad against that guy. So basically, sure, you have a free Hadamasa for the electric damage, but Hadamasa has the problem that it has a pretty high skill floor, which also means most people will not be able to play him effectively, and it kind of feels the HP are too high currently for basically for what the average player can achieve.
Did we just go back to talking about Shiyu? I thought we were talking about what,
No,
what we liked about
it
the
doesn't.
game.
Not necessarily here. That was just an example. The HP inflation
power
seems
creep. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
seems pretty big currently, and I just took note of this Shiyu as an example.
Well, you're talking about the UI, and if you didn't know, we actually have a UI professional guy in this call right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh my.
Oh,
I have
man.
God.
a bit of a reputation here of being called some names for saying I didn't like the UI. Well. Look, guess who's changing the UI?
Room.
It was the most offhand
Yes,
comment of all time, by the way. Like I literally didn't care that much, but like apparently I'm the UI guy now.
I can't believe people attach themselves to it so badly. Like what the UI, like of all things, like of all the
It's just
criticisms
funny
that
as hell.
people
Whatever.
develop, yeah.
What are we
Also,
talking
what
about?
happened
UI
though?
for Zenless? Or
Wait, what was that? I just when I first played the game when it first came out, I was
Okay.
like, I don't know, this UI is kind of confusing. It feels a little bit awkward because I play with controller as well, and I was like, I don't know, navigating this stuff is like kind of a pain. Like I don't really like this, and well, I got called some choice names. My thoughts on it.
okay, yeah. I mean, that's just deranged people on the internet. Like, you just get comments like that all the time, all day,
Oh, it was
every
just
day.
Tectone. And now we're,
just
now we're
Tectone?
friends, but it was just Tectone. It was funny as hell.
Oh my goodness, good old Tectone. Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny as hell, honestly. But yeah, now when someone calls you something and it's just like a meme, you just gotta accept it. It's funny.
Yep. Oh boy.
Yeah, I think not the entire UI is bad, but there are certain parts, especially like the map selection now, just got horrible. They also fortunately did quite a few of improvements, like you don't have to click 10 million times in different parts of the UI anymore to level up your shit. But
Yeah.
there's still a lot of improvements which they can do.
If I may, like to be honest, I'm someone that kind of comes from like I've got like a stupid amount of hours in games like Vindictus and Black Desert, like when I was, I don't know, like in middle school or something, or like high school, like 10,000 hours VDO. So when both Wuthering Waves and Zenless came out, I was really excited to play both. But I'm not gonna lie, like I love both games. Again, to be clear, S6 Zany main in the call, okay? Like that is coming no matter what. But I actually, one of the things I like the most about Zenless is that, obviously I have to make guides for them, so maybe like I have a bit of bias here, but like the characters in this game are like pretty simple while still being satisfying. Like I don't think outside of maybe Haramasa, I don't think they've really released a character where I was like, oh man, I don't understand this kit and there's nothing satisfying about them. Like I always feel like there's some like kind of gameplay, like core gameplay identity that they give each of the characters, and they like it makes it way more enjoyable for me personally when I can just like, even without having to like dig deep to try and do some hologram or figure out some hologram mechanic, I just kind of turn my brain off. I get like a decent score in Shiyu. I feel good because I don't know, I did like parries or I like stunned the boss, and then I kind of go on with my day. Again, this isn't like a slight for Wuwa, but like sometimes, man, like when I do some of the content in Wuwa, I have to lock in like hard. It doesn't matter how many mindscapes or I actually don't know what it's called in that game. The constellations, whatever it is.
Copy of the character. I think Sonance's.
Sequences?
Sequences. It doesn't matter how many I have for that game. Like I always have to like can't do it on my phone. Gotta like log in on PC, like lock in, do the Tower of Adversity, or like do the Whimpering Waste or something. And again, it could just be a skill issue, but honestly, I like how easy Zenless is. Doesn't take much time. Get my primos or get my premium currency for the week and then log off. Deadly Assault 2. I actually like that more than Shiyu, to be honest.
Deadly Assault's amazing.
Yeah,
That needs a race.
I still want Deadly Assault and Wuba. I think that would be amazing here too.
I want the tower inside of Wuwa. I think it would be amazing. They could literally 1-for-1 copy it into Wuwa, and I would love it.
I kind of agree. I think one of the biggest things that Wuthering Waves has always been missing is endgame. And even though I don't play ZZZ, it annoys me that it kind of had the most expansive endgame. Even if it's not perfect, it still had the most amount of stuff that they focused on that, which kind of annoyed me.
you can just become a ZZZ player, then you can enjoy that endgame too.
For real.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see about that, buddy.
Maybe the live stream will just convince you. You will just go in at 2.0 and say, holy shit, ZZZ is the best game ever.
Might be
Probably
my
not.
ZZZ shell then.
The ZZZ chill arc for a bit.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
buddy, but game of the year this year is Expedition 33. I don't
Damn
need
right.
graphics anymore.
Damn right it is.
Dude, the music on that game is so crazy. They cook so hard. on
Everything in that game.
I probably actually would agree with that, at least from watching you. The problem was I kinda have to always tune out a little bit because I don't wanna get spoiled too hard in the story.
Oh, then you should never watch me play it again, straight up at this point.
Yeah, probably. But never again as man might be a little bit harsh.
Well, I mean, while I'm playing it, you should not watch. The spoilers are unbelievable.
Yeah, unfortunately that has been the case, so now I'm just lonely at work.
You just gotta play it, man.
Yeah, it's on my to-do list, okay? Right now I have to catch up in WoWa.
It should be top
Priorities.
priority over any gacha game.
Okay, but
Right, we're
I'm
supposed to talk about
desperate.
Zenless though, right? Oops.
Recommending
Yes.
real games over gacha games? What is this?
What do you guys think of Yi Zhawan, the premier 2.0 character
I don't
The
like
Void
her
Hunter?
design.
for season 2? I don't either.
Really?
You don't like her design?
A bit too much.
Yeah,
Well,
I think she's just Ambi with big boobs.
I mean, she is. And ink.
I can see that, but I feel like with how I don't know, I feel like it's so hard to say. Like I think it's fine to comment like that, you know, like the design looks too similar to X, Y, or Z. But I don't know. I feel like the Zenless company is cooking something whenever they release a character, because they release Soldier and she's related to Ambi. Like, is this another? I'm gonna assume this has nothing to do with Ambi. Like her storyline is like cut, tied, and finished. But like part of me thought that she has to somehow be related to them, right? Like why does she her design does just look incredibly similar to her, which is what I don't know. Maybe I'm just coping and holding off on. But otherwise, I mean, surely Zenless, with all like the creativity they have, is not going to release 3 Ambis, 4
That's what I'm
Ambis.
thinking.
Like surely not.
All the ambies,
Don't look at
man.
Honkai Impact.
Yeah, Honkai
What do you
Impact
guys
has how
think
many whatchamacallit, Kianas, right?
Yeah.
And
20.
Raidens as well.
Dude,
Maybe
we
they
still have
will.
to see that too. We have to get the Raiden Shogun for this game. We're still
Yeah.
waiting for that one to get imported.
They're releasing a panda though.
Close
The
enough.
panda guy looks sick.
Let's go.
Dude, that guy
He's one
looks
of my favorite
so
characters.
cool.
They have multiple creatures before HSR has one. GG.
Wait, you guys have that little fairy nymph thing, right?
Wow.
Very nymph
Wow.
thing.
Yeah,
Wait, who?
Wow.
like the little mascot thing.
Oh,
Or am I
in
just crazy?
Loa?
You talking about Tribi?
Yeah, that no. Like what's that like little magical girl mascot thing you guys have?
You have Tribi?
Oh man, no, I'm tripping then. I don't know what I'm talking about. No,
Are you talking about
Tribi-
Wooden Waves or Zenless or HSR? What are you talking about?
HSR, right? Sorry, I'm a little
Oh,
distracted.
you're
I'm-
talking about the Meme or whatever her name is.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes, that thing.
Oh,
See?
that's part of the main character's kit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You guys have
I mean,
one.
it is. I guess.
I mean, technically speaking, we also got Castrus's dragon. If we're going, we got a lot of creatures, animals.
Oh,
type
yeah,
things
yeah,
in the
Castrus
game
dragon.
if we include those.
But no aliens.
Yeah, everybody loves that thing.
Wait, so Connor, you want Zenless to be easy, is what you were saying earlier?
No, I don't necessarily want it to be easy. I think though that I've always been an advocate of giving choice or like opportunities, like a play your own, like choose what you want. And I think that's kind of something that Zenless has done recently. Like the Endless Tower only technically needs to be cleared to like 30 for like the title or like 100. But there's like some crazy guy on Reddit like who's at like 500,000, which is like, what are we even doing at this point? But I think being able to get the rewards and being able to play the game both on like phone and I think like on PC without having to like, you know, stress myself out every time, I think is a pretty unique approach. You know, honestly, I'm like, it feels like I'm getting old at this point. I'm like 27. Like, I would love to say that I'm an action combat Andy, but like sometimes my reactions just don't hit the same. So like being able to get a few of like the golden parry lights feels pretty nice, to be honest, or like playing a very easy kit,
Oh yeah, I messed
or
up.
a
Sorry,
character
guys.
that plays very easy. Oh, that's fine. Or like being able to clear all the content like with a satisfying kit is pretty nice. But I just suck at Wua. I'm sure. Like I feel like I don't know what it is about that game, but like the enemies in that game just hurt way more. They punish way more. And again, I'm more than happy to say I just suck at the game. But like Zenless, I've never like started sweating, like, you know, to try and clear something. But man, sometimes like
Did you do -1?
I did do -1, but it was the Wuthering, what was it? It was that red zone that they overdrive. Like I didn't have like an element for like the overdrive zone in Wuthering Waves, and I just like I spent like maybe 8 hours trying to clear it. I just was so pissed off. Like I couldn't get the score that I wanted.
Well, I feel like Overdrive Zone is just tower adversity with more HP.
Yeah,
no,
but
Jenica corrected me on that.
Yeah, again, it's not that I hate difficulty or anything. It's just, I don't know. Like I'm not trying to prove to anyone I'm like a god gamer, you know? I just think it's cool when the
You
characters
saying you
get
like
satisfying.
having some chill stuff, while having like a character you enjoy doing the chill stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be cool if like once in a while, like that's why I've always been, okay, I'm like half. I've kind of been a fan of Souls games. Like as I got older, just I can't do it, man. I just suck too bad. But like as a kid, I thought it was cool to, you know, like, or like when I was in high school, I guess is when I started playing the series. Okay, dude, Jenna, aren't you older than me?
Yeah, but you're the one who's an unk here. I mean, like, come on, look.
Well, but you know, I like some difficulty, but again, I think it's cool, or it's really nice as a company if after a certain point there's like a tap out. You know, like you know, I can sit here and say to maybe my friends, like if they're watching me like streaming on Discord or something, like, oh my god, wow, look, I did this. But like, you know, at the end of the day, sometimes I want to close my eyes, press E 3 times, hold charge basic attack, and then like the fight is over. And that's something that Zenless does sometimes, specifically with Miyabi. But I actually don't think most of the other characters in the cast do that, especially the more recent ones. Like
I feel like
Evelyn
Miyabi like disables like the whole game.
Yeah, like Evelyn and Ambi are actually much more involved. So I'm just kind of like riding my Miyabi high right now. I'm hoping that Yijuan is not crazy to play either. But I don't know, you know. I think I saw them specifically state in the live stream that she is a Void Hunter level investigator. Like that's the exact terminology that they used. And I have no idea what that exactly means.
Did you see the drip marketing for her?
I did. She's got some like weird, I don't even know what she's got going on. She looks like she's a different like class and element. I don't even know what the hell. Yeah, but my only hope, well, I don't know if this is a good thing necessarily, but my Miyabi loving self hopes that being a Void Hunter means that she's like brute forceable and good to play and like friendly for free to plays. Maybe that would be cool. Because it would be so cool if just one side was always Miyabi, and then the other side was Yijuan, because that's what I did in Starro for a while with like Acheron, Kafka, and Firefly. And I did that for like maybe, like, I don't know, like 8 Memory of Chaoses or something. I was living so good like during that period.
What I can say, just to get a little bit back to what you said initially, personally, when I now just came back to I'm really missing my iframes. Every single time, like, Camellia does her, like, refill her forte, I'm like, oh, sure, nice iframe, then I get hit, and I just die.
Imperial has no iframe on it.
I really miss that some abilities which look like they should have iframes just don't have iframes. And I mean, that's a certain skill, and I don't dislike that. It's just very, very weird to... Like, I found it kinda... It took me some time to adjust, basically. But that's just different skill sets. So, what I would be interested... Janaza, how much have you actually played ZZZ, and why have you stopped? Outside of UI.
I think I've played up through the 1.4 story, and maybe a little bit of 1.5. I haven't really played much of Shiyu, but I've seen people playing it, so like I think I have a decent grasp on kind of what's going on. I'll be real, it's just like I'm just not a huge fan of the game. Like I just don't find the gameplay super engaging. I don't really like the feeling of it. I mean, I play a lot of Wuthering Waves, and both games, I think most people admit, feel pretty different to play. And even though they're both, like, at their core, combat action games with, like, parries and stuff like that. For me personally, though, I just never really vibed with how Zenless Zone Zero felt, and I thought its launch felt pretty bad as well, which is why I stopped initially. The TVs and, like, all sorts of other stuff just was really off-putting to me. Yeah, I just never really could get into the game that much. I mean, I played it recently for 1.6 for like a sponsor, and I tried some more of the game, and I mean, I think the game is aight. It's not like I hate Zenless Zone Zero. I think 2.0 could make some big improvements. I definitely acknowledge that ZZZ is only getting better though. So you guys should keep not spending money because they keep doing a lot of work. Just saying, like, the less you guys spending, the better they're doing right now.
What do you think had a worse launch, ZZZ or Wuwa?
I think you cannot compare that.
Okay, Wuwa just because like performance issues, but ZZZ because the TVs were so dumb.
Yeah, that is also what I would say. Like, it's hard to compare them because one literally just didn't work for half of the population, and for the other, you know, for the other game, it was like, this is not the game which was advertised. I wanted to have an action combat and not TV simulation.
That's valid.
So
yeah, well, Zenless Zone Zero kind of at its core didn't really make much sense to me because they already have Honkai 3rd. And yeah, they're different games, but it's like, it's kind of the same niche. And also you have Punishing Gray Raven. So it seems so strange to make another gacha game that's kind of in that niche from Hoyoverse, but I don't know.
So, I mean, to be fair, I've never really played Honkai Impact 3rd that much, but for me, Honkai Impact 3rd just feels... I mean, sure, it is very outdated, but that aside, it just feels very much leaning into this. You have your one fixed team rotation, and you have to play it perfectly so you can kill the boss within 0.0 seconds before it basically even spawns to get the top leaderboard ranking. And you need to actually just, you know, be perfect in your rotations with your one specific team against this one specific matchup. And ZZZ feels much more fluent in this regard. Which I personally prefer, but you know, like, different people just have preferences, so... The question would be, what would ZZZ need to change for you personally, Jenna, that you would argue, okay, if 2.0 does this, I would try it again?
I think it would have to really, I don't know, overhaul the gameplay. That it would have to make the gameplay, I think, have a lot more depth to it for me to really be super interested in it. Because I'm not saying that it has no depth at all right now. It's just, since the gameplay is not super exciting to me, I would need some other element to it for it to really make me go, oh, I really want to play this. Like, I really want to grind out these discs. I really want to try and make team comps. Because I just don't really get that feeling from the game at the moment, personally.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the thing about games is they're not for everyone, right? Genizad, you know, let's say they did everything perfect. Genizad's under no obligation to play it, regardless, if he just doesn't like the game. This is how I feel like when I cover these different games and people are fighting over them. It's like, dude, just play the one that you want to play and don't play the others if you don't like them.
There's so much tribalism for all the games. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, one thing, just I mean, I totally agree with you. By the way, people should just play what they want, 100%. The one thing though that I do think matters in some respects is Hoyoverse in a way is kind of like the older brother. They're putting, and everyone else is like right now the younger brothers. They all try to emulate their older brother because they're older, more experienced. They have all this stuff going on. They're the biggest, and so everyone's trying to emulate them in so many ways. So basically, whatever Hoyoverse does becomes the standard. And I think because of that, even if people don't play their games, they are still affected by their games and practices and other things that they do.
For
so
sure. Like 50-50.
Yeah, that's one example. So in my eyes, like, I do 100% understand, and I don't really like a lot of the gacha tribalism that happens, even though I talk mad shit about a lot of games I don't play. I talk shit about everything, even stuff that I do play. But I do understand some people's point of view on why they might absolutely hate certain games because they don't like the practices and other things that get passed down.
I mean,
But
you
couldn't
can
you then
kind
also
of
blame?
yeah. Go ahead, Rubenus.
Yeah, I just want to say, like, in the end, sure, it is bad to set a bad precedent, but however, it's also the company's fault to take this bad precedent and then just implement it in their own game, right? Just because.
But the thing is, if everyone is used to it and it's the standard, then you're going to use it, right? If it's shown to work.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose from a company perspective, that 100% makes sense. But
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, from a company perspective, that's the way they think about it, right? It is a business at the end of the day, and sometimes that feels very obvious when we're copying what seems to be making the most money.
Yeah, you just you
Well,
see what
everything is a
works, you
business.
copy it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Companies have only one objective. There's only one reason why they exist, and it's to make money. So, and whether it's Wuthering Waves, they see what Genshin did. They see whether they made, well, in this case, Tencent's looking, right? So they see what Genshin might have done, what might have worked, what might not, and they made their decisions based on that. And you're right, Genizad, in that since Genshin Hoyoverse is the pioneer of the industry, that they do set some sort of precedent. I mean, just look at how many games have the exact same progression system, down to the exact same number of primo gems. With like, oh, you play until adventure rank 14, then you can continue the story, and then you have to go explore the open world, then you go grind some dungeons. You do these tertiary gameplay tasks. All these games that have come out after that we cover just follow that exact same formula. So it makes sense to kind of care at the same time, right? Like, if you find those practices to be bad, I don't know. I just see whether it's in game A, game B, game C, you just don't play them. And that in itself is enough. If enough people do that, then these companies will change their song and tune, right? And voice discontent too, right? Like, all the discontent online has gotten us actual change in these games. So it works. It works. I get it.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I
oh,
mean,
AOG, you.
not very controversial.
What's your call?
What's my call?
Yeah,
like
you have been quiet so far.
No, I have my anti-corpo moment.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I very much agree with the anti-corporate sentiment. And they're just going to continue to do the same things, I guess. It's not how much can we give the players, it's how much can we get away with. And even for a company that's like seen as more consumer friendly, more player friendly, like Kuro, it's still how much can we get away with, and I guess that was kind of demonstrated by their whole anniversary situation. It's like, how much can you get away with and still keep people happy? It's a balance, right? And you don't want to ask for too much as players because it's outside of the realms of possibility, but you also don't want to not ask for enough and get taken advantage of as a player. So yeah, it's a balancing act, and they have to walk it, I guess. And we just get to complain about it. So
yeah, in a way, it's like, how much can they get away with? To me, it's really even more simple than that. It's just how much money can we make, and which decision do we make makes the most money, right? I think at the beginning of Kuro games and Wuthering Waves when it was released, they weren't, like, this was like an insane blow up for them, like when the game kicked off. And they weren't, like, at the time, kind of corporatized in a similar structure, right? Like, reminds me of like Hoyoverse's early days when they made Gun Girls and Honkai Impact Third. I would say it was kind of like their first game that really like popped off a lot. And then after that, well, they became a typical large corporate conglomerate, and now it's like, hey, every decision we make through Genshin Impact and stuff and games like this is going to be how can we maximize revenue, right? So when organizations like Tencent and stuff like that step in, I mean, what do you think is going to happen, right? And originally, I would describe as like a passion project before the soul is kind of the corporate nature is brought in, and that's kind of what we saw at the beginning of many of these games. But we live in a world where corporate profits go beyond everything else, so just kind of have to deal with it. And the only way to do anything about it is to vote with our wallets. So you either spend or you don't, and if the issues are too big for you, just don't swipe, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the best way to go about it. The only problem is, and here's the real issue I think a lot of people may feel is like, I think some people feel, what if you're surrounded by crazy people where you don't spend, but everyone else does, and you're like, what the hell am I, like, I can't do anything, and then you suffer. Unfortunately, being in the minority is always the worst possible thing when it comes to these kinds of games, I think.
That's the
I
thing.
feel like that's like me. Free to play in all these.
Well, like most players don't actually spend money. Like it's, I forget the actual statistics, but a lot of the marketing around the games is kind of designed in a way to make people think that most players do spend money. And yeah, again, like I said, I forget the actual statistics, so I don't really have them to hand. But it's the idea is that it normalizes the idea of it, and therefore people are more comfortable with the idea of it.
Wait, repeat that again?
Sorry,
What?
did I
Just messaged
No,
you.
I think we
completely
have a pretty good consensus there. So the question is, what do we actually expect from ZZZ then, and especially in regards to a new major version or season, as they call it? Because in the end, a new version always sets really high expectations, and I guess especially now with ZZZ, where the 0.0 version actually also aligns with the anniversary, it probably is even higher, right?
Yeah, it's gotta be like a big drop of stuff.
I mean, they will need to, I guess.
Yeah, hang on, busting out the notepad. I'm gonna take some. Let's see. Yeah, ZZZ. What do we expect, huh?
Yes. Let's start with Goba. Goba is probably just busy farming Expedition 33 currently instead of.
Look, I'm near the end. I'm savoring it.
You're at the end? Damn, already?
Yeah, I kind of liked it. What do I want from Zenless Zone Zero? Maybe
more bears, right?
More. Well, we got Panda. They kind of delivered on it already, right?
Yeah, they got his number one already. Holy.
I'm hoping they announce like the voice actor's Jack Black tomorrow. But if not, I'd love some more skins. I'm not gonna lie, I really like skins. Some new ones would be nice as well. Other than that, I don't really care for rewards because I don't really pull every character anymore on Zenless, so I'm just chilling. I just pull who I like. But I feel like just to get back in good reputation, they probably will do a bunch of rewards. I don't know what they'd give, but I don't think they're going to give like a limited selector. I think that's a bit too much.
There's no
Maybe
way.
A free 5-star.
I could see a standard selector ticket though.
Yeah, well,
that's
Genshin
what I-
and HSR have both done one, so even if Zenless is on their first one, I feel like they're gonna feel pressured to do one as well.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty funny. The expectations are so different from Wuthering Waves because in WoW people expected so much more because of some like the thoughts of previous generosity, but it feels like from Zenless I've seen such lower expectations overall sentiment from people. They're just like,
yeah, we're not
man,
expecting
if they gave us
anything.
if they gave us this, that would be so great. And I'm just like, damn.
We are
like,
Stockholm
That's
Syndrome
really.
by Hoyoverse. Okay.
You guys are. You guys are. You guys are just like, please, sir, 1 pence. It's just like, damn, okay, like that's all you need from the first anniversary? I mean, like, you guys sticking with the game, I feel like, oh well, it's kind of a shame.
Okay, so I asked my chat, and here's what they're asking for. Okay, this is what they want from the Zenless Zone anniversary. So we'll see what you guys think about it. First chatter, free limited 5-star characters. So this is kind of one of the complaints people had.
They're reaching already.
Yeah. This first chatter is already reaching. So next chatter says more end game. Outrageous. I'm gonna ban him. Okay.
Oh.
Where is he? Ban. Wait, no, this isn't Genshin. Don't worry, we're not gonna ban him. All right. So 3 free 5 stars, 180 polls, and 38 fanboys, maybe fanboys. I guess it'd be nice to have 38 fanboys, but you know. Okay. So here's actually one thing that I wish that these games would give. Okay. And I've said this since the first Genshin Impact anniversary. I think they should give one like constellation activator for a universal one for any character, right? That's what I've always thought that
That
they
was
should
pretty
give
good,
once a
though.
year, but you know,
That
whatever.
would be nice. 'Cause
I've
you still have
actually
to get
never
the
heard of that.
character.
I think that's actually a pretty good idea.
Just one a year. Like, hey, everyone's gonna hop in, grab that free constellation. Maybe I'll save it, maybe I won't, and then bam, like
E6 Bennett.
yeah, C6
It's
Bennett.
It's actually so free too. Like it
It
basically
is.
costs them nothing because most people
Yeah.
get that. Like they weren't gonna pull for a dupe anyways. So
They're not
like it
gonna-
literally
yeah.
cost them $0.
Precisely. Like they're not gonna go back. They have to wait for like Raiden's like 14th rerun, and then okay, finally I'll pull again and activate. No, I'll just activate it now so my Raiden feels stronger, and then I'll bench her once a random cowgirl starts jumping on people's faces, right? So
It does like
it does like 4 times the damage. Yeah, exactly. So I mean that's the thing. There's just so many there's so much low-hanging fruit for these companies to just pick and give to the players, but they don't. And you know, I've made like a video every year for Genshin, but it obviously doesn't do anything, right? Like, I don't expect it to either. I don't expect it to.
Well, we all know why they don't do that though, even though like, hey, good suggestion.
Yeah.
However, it doesn't happen because everyone just eats up whatever it is,
Yeah.
right?
True.
Yo, this chat is delusional. Free M6 Ellen, bro. Okay. It's okay.
So,
You
why
still
does
have
he
to
want
pull
a still
Miyabi.
useless character?
You still have to pull Miyabi to power, or, you know, if you pulled Miyabi,
Wife
the
is
M6
first,
Ellen
bro.
wouldn't be very useful.
I do think it would be so sick if for one of the anniversaries we like again this is my stand maybe I am Stockholm syndrome. Dude, I just really want one M6 card of my choice. Like just the the profile card. I just give me my choice,
Oh.
one of them. I don't need the
You
constellation.
want
I
to
just
make it up.
want
The
yeah,
artwork,
I just want the nameplate art, please.
bro.
Like sure, that costs no money. I don't even have the constellation. I just have the art. Like please, man, please.
Oh my
Just so you
gosh,
can choose
well-
Pulchra, honestly.
you're Kana,
Oh,
you're like that
but-
meme where the guys are in the office suggesting stuff, and you're one of the first 2 people, not the
Oh.
3rd one.
Oh no. Okay. Hey. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, like
Exactly
free
what you
name
said.
card. Exactly.
Do you think there's a chance that this gives artifact loadouts in 2.0?
God.
They're never adding it to any
Oh.
of their games.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Why have
Yeah,
artifact
hell no.
loadouts when you can spend 30 minutes, messing with your artifacts before you do a mission, right? Hey, it's player engagement, my friends.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna be real,
okay.
Connor. You're on the wrong side of history here. Like, I don't like what are these expectations, bro? First you're saying like I just like chill games that I can play on my phone, and now this. Oh my god.
Dude, I'm getting old, man. I just like the little things in life. You know what I mean? Like a name card. I can clear my Shiyu defense on the toilet. Like this is what matters in life. You know what I mean?
You on the toilet is kind of crazy.
Man, I feel like if you can play a game on the toilet, like, is it really even a game at that point? I don't know, man. Like, that's like too casual.
Okay, it's not my
Okay,
go-to
Pana
spot.
says
But
he
you know,
does
if I
his
really had
dailies
to.
in the shower, though. I feel like that's the first I've ever heard of. I don't know anyone else that does that.
Yeah, that's low-key crazy. I don't know. I would argue I'm also actually not so too crazy on the anniversary rewards itself, actually. I mean, expectations are low, just so I can be surprised and be happy about whatever they give me, basically. I mean, the internet will go mayhem anyway. It doesn't really matter what they do. There will always be people who complain about it.
Well, there's a part of me that thinks that I wonder if they'll just like plan to take the L, kind of like Wua, and then
5G
just
chess. Yeah.
fix it.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then be like, oh,
I'd be the devs listen guy.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, like have like underwhelming rewards. Wait for the internet to explode anyway, and then just give us like 20 more polls.
I don't think Zenless will explode though if they do that. So like it won't even do anything.
I actually think you're right. Yeah, I think everyone would be like, well, it's Hoyoverse. What do we expect?
No,
It's
no.
kind of like the same conversations we're already having.
Okay, I feel like if they listened to Kana and gave us a free name card, maybe there would be a split. Maybe there would be an
Whoa,
explosion.
hey, they've got some good choices here, man. You don't like Miyabi's M6 or Evelyn's M6 card?
I gotta
Those
be
are
honest.
sick.
I don't know what those look like.
Well, you can go look in your profile.
Pana has
thing. They're
memorized
like,
all of them.
dude, I do know what each and every single one of them look like. that is the bad part.
So are you a fan of Soldier 11's?
Soldier 11's looks. She's got the armpit one, right? Is that hers?
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
It's whatever.
And we're back to Goonin, boys.
Pattern recognition.
True. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, like disregarding rewards, I personally feel ZZZ kind of has to deliver with their 2.0, or honestly 2.x, because the dev talk has promised a lot. And even the people who basically kind of shit on Hoyoverse 24/7, everybody has really really high expectations. And if Hoyo now does not deliver on it in time, you will have the same kind of situation which you had in HSR, basically, where you have been promising this since, I don't know, 3 versions, and there's nothing on it. Where is it? So that is something which I think they need to be addressing, at least in the live stream. Even if they say like, okay, it's not gonna be in this not gonna be in this version specifically, it will be within the next 2 versions, for example. They kind of basically have to do something to inform the players what is gonna happen soon. Because
I saw that reaction. I win to lose. Like, just say you were surprised by lighter. Like, come on, this is pretty good, huh? Like, I saw that. Like, come on.
I regret not M6ing Trigger. Okay,
That's crazy.
Ayo.
for the name card. There we
Listen,
go. You're right, Connor.
You know it's crazy if you have like a visceral like physical reaction. Like you get like you literally sat back out of your seat. You're like, whoa, my god, like what is that?
Kind of my chat's telling me to call you out that you just want graces.
Oh,
Okay, that might be my background for my wallpaper of my computer. No, honestly, if I could though, I think I don't know who I'd pick. I might. I don't know. I wish that there was a way to like. That's why honestly I'm so torn about it. This is just like a random aside, but I don't ever like activate my constellations on my account because I'm a psychopath, and like I don't know. I just like the idea of seeing how like I don't know the quote unquote the free to play players feel about the game with like M0 characters, but some characters. Like Evelyn, I have like Evelyn at M6 because I just love that character so much.
Oh, you do? Oh,
But
wow.
I can't use her name card because she's just like if I activate it, well then like anytime I do testing with Evelyn, it's just like it's like a
Yeah.
it's like a tarnished test. Like it doesn't it's unrealistic. God, I wish
Okay, but
that
is
there was
that
a way to
not
turn it
literally
on.
minus 2K? Like you might sort of just burned $2K.
No, I got pretty lucky actually with Evelyn. And I think I only lost 2 50/50s. And one of my Evelyn pulls, I got like 2 in one go. So I was like, oh, okay, like this game, like I was made for Evelyn, she was made for me. Like step aside, Astriel. Like, sorry, this is my character. You know what I mean? Like this is this is my waifu.
So the problem is, J-Stern and me also would like to disagree with that, you know? Like, our M6 pulls have been pretty good as well, so...
Okay, I mean, if you got M6, you get... Wait, did you M6? Who did you M6?
Right, Bernice.
Eve and Bernice.
Wait, who in Bernice?
Eve.
Oh, you M6 Evelyn too? What the?
Oh yeah, have you looked at her?
Yes, I have actually, but I mean, your Discord profile is like the Bernice song. That's why I thought you were loyal to Bernice only.
I don't know. I cheated on Bernice with Vivian now, as well as with Eve. And soon I will cheat on her with Cypher. And after Cypher, I'm not sure yet. Probably whatever. What the fuck is the Frixidius woman called? I never can remember her name. In Vuva. Olovea, whatever, something like this.
Oh, Prolova?
Oh yeah, exactly. I'm gonna...
Isn't that like a dessert?
Probably S6 or...
Dude,
she's probably coming out soon.
Paradigm, some of these do
all
sound like that.
She's like, all of Renacita's been about Prolova.
Yeah, it will be a bit difficult. I'll probably have to sell my IRL wife for her, but, you know.
Oh.
07.
Yeah, I mean, it's a worthy trade-off.
So, Dana wants toggleable mindscapes for the anniversary.
No, wait, no.
We're gonna
no,
hear-
Wait,
Guys,
No, just the art.
Let's
Just the
not
art.
twist
That's what I said.
history. All he wants is a name card.
No, wait. Hold on, the phone.
Wait a second. But I think actually that's a cool thing, no? Like, toggleable, like, mindscape sequences, whatever, is something which basically everybody wants in basically every game so far, so
What
if
is-
they
Yeah,
would
But if
deliver
that's your
on that...
anniversary reward,
Why don't they give it? I don't understand though. It's just like such
The
a...
reason why they don't do it is because these
You're
games, they all only cater to the majority, and the majority of people do not care about like looking cool by turning off their constellations, and they don't care about a lot of them aren't whales either.
Okay, so this is actually my theory. It's even more insidious than that. It is because players like myself that are whales have considered, and some do, getting another account with non-whale units. Okay, so I think it's for money. Because, like, ultimately it always ties back to money, or at least I'm willing to bet money that everything ties back to money when it comes to corpos and game decisions, right? So that's my theory on it. It's because many of my friends, too, like, that are content creators, they have, like, a whale account, like their account, and then they realize, oh, shit, now I have to make a regular account, too. So for the whale population, like, oh, what's another one more signature or one more 5-star character, one more signature weapon for another account? Like, I already spent $2,000. What's another $400 per character, right? I mean, money's money. So that's my personal guess.
I mean, that's part of it though. That's what I was saying. Like, that's why I have the amount of pressure that is on my account. Like, there are red notification marks all over. It's like, hey, Shirley, you want to activate the mindscapes, right? Hey, man, you want to activate all these mindscapes, man. Hey, your account would be so good if you had these mindscapes. But the second that you put them on, it's like, it's someone goes, oh, Jane, like your perception even warps. Like, Jane is so strong at M2 as like everyone else like struggles to clear with the character. But like, oh, but I cleared, and it's because you're in mindscapes and stuff. But I mean, I don't know if I would go so far as to get a second Zenless account. I mean, Zenless's dailies are like pretty easy, I guess, once you get through the story. But a whole second
dailies are easy. Going through all of the Zenless stuff, you'd have to go through all of the Hollow Zero progression, all of the story missions,
the events,
all of like leveling up your characters again.
To be fair,
I'm sorry, having a second account That's unemployed behavior. If
Yeah.
you're not a content creator, that is some unemployed ass behavior. If you have a second account and you're going all the way through that hard, content creators, it makes sense, but at the same time, it's like I cannot imagine doing that otherwise.
Bro, you better
You're
be
just
Elon
trying
Musk,
to
no
excuse
joke.
everyone to lose here.
Hey, I gotta be honest. I wish I had a second Genshin account. Like I actually wish I did, but there's no
If you want
way.
to, you
Like,
can
Gen-
have mine.
No, bro, you definitely simp for some characters. I know you got some. I know you got some constellations in there.
Only a
You'll
few,
see.
but they don't matter.
See? All right. No, but like what Genzat said is, correct, right? It's too much. Right? It's too much.
Yeah, I do think something that I've been more interested in, especially for Zenless, because I've seen a lot of people talk about it. This game does not have that many people. It feels like making content for it. Is there like someone that's done like a full free to play like up until this point, like not like no pull account or something, but like I feel like in other games, WUA, Star Rail, or other titles, there's always account. Like account challenges like that. Like, here's my full free-to-play account challenge or something like that. That I think maybe could be like more interesting if you're like a content creator. But like, obviously, it's not. It's just to showcase how you can progress through the game. I don't think it's like something for like the average Joe to go like, yeah, here's my well account and here's my free-to-play account.
Well, I'm free to play, but I'm not no pool. I feel like people do no pool account videos. I don't think anyone does people do usually like account reviews that they're free to play, like what their progression looks like.
I guess I was just thinking about it like, oh, my free to play account after like, I don't know, like 6 months of playing, something like that. I'm surprised there isn't like a video like that if I go look it up or something.
So the problem with these kind of videos is you have to literally play the game for 6 months for one video, which probably gets like 10k views because it's endless.
Real.
And it's also like
Like,
one issue I have with that is so many players of the viewer base themselves are free-to-play players or low spenders, so they don't need to watch the video. They'll just log into their own account and they'll be like, oh,
Yeah, that's-
well, I've already seen this video.
That's crazy.
that hurts actually. It's so true.
Dude, you just insulted your viewer base's wallets. What the heck?
No, they have
what's going on here?
they have lives, right? They have stuff they got to do, right? They can't sit in this chair right here and make videos.
Oh, so we don't have lives? Like, pick a side.
Well, yeah. Yeah, content creators are just a glorified beggar. Glorified homeless beggar.
Subscribe, hey.
crazy.
Yeah, like,
Dono
come on.
subs.
Yeah. We're just all beggars. Like, please give me that sub. Please subscribe. Hey,
Please
come on, we're
watch my
just
video.
panhandling on the internet.
You see that link down in the description below? Oh yeah, click that shit. Wait,
Yeah.
I need to put one. No, this stream isn't sponsored, but oh
But
man.
it could be.
Where are the Oilers at?
Oh gosh, guys, getting slapped by reality here. That's not what I was expecting coming into this. But
I mean, being able to do full-time content creation is such a privileged thing anyway.
it is, yeah, it really is.
It's very nice, but man, that shit is overpaid as hell.
Oh, yeah.
I did I took a look at the title for this stream, or at least I win to loses. I just realized it's just like, if we're talking about gachas in general.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I actually heard or saw last night I saw Etherea's like dev talk, which is like, I don't know if you guys saw that.
Stuff,
that was like a crazy, like the stuff that was coming out of that dev's mouth were like actually pretty like
It was so real. It was
that was
super, super real. And
yeah.
for anyone who doesn't know, Ethereum Restart, it's kind of like Epic 7, which is similar to Honkai Star Rail. It's like if you mixed Honkai Star Rail and like, I don't know, I guess a PvP game together. It has like Persona and weird elements too. But the dev at the end, he was trying to translate like to English because it's obviously not his native language. But he was just being really honest about things. He was saying the word gacha and stuff like that, which if you guys have ever taken sponsorships from some gachas, they specifically will say don't use that word and things like that. And he was just straight up like being so honest about everything. He was the most like player type of person. Like it felt like he's playing all of these games. and he was just saying like, yeah, it's this gacha game. We want to make it really work for the free to plays and have this work. The currency is 100, and have you guys ever seen a gacha do that? Like 100 currency for a pull?
That game also has loadouts.
Yeah, but they'll always say like, you need 230 fun bucks to buy this pull or whatever, and then you have to do the mental math, right? But they don't even have something like that. It's just 100. It's like 100 cents to the dollar. Like that's really even very player friendly. It's interesting to see a developer that feels like a human.
I also think like again like I recorded exactly what they said. They said the exact line. As a player currently in this market, gacha games are too expensive, which is like an actually insane quote from a dev that is trying to tell, like, you know, obviously trying to convince you to play their game. But I feel like, you know, as you're saying, like that is such a that's such a like a handshake moment. Like, yeah, I actually completely empathize. Like, why am I spending $400 on like, you know, a PNG or something, or on like a constellation on something? And again, like I agree. I mean, that game does also just in general like seem extremely free to play. Haven't touched it myself, but Jenna, I think did you get into any of the prior betas? Was it like super?
Yes, I played in a tournament of it.
A tournament?
I mean,
Was it
Vulcan
like
was saying he was
free-to-play?
top ranked, and Vulcan's free to play in all the PvP games he plays.
Yeah. I think the game seems fairly free to play, but we'll have to see on actual release exactly what it's like.
Yeah, because like I don't know that, like, you know, no 50-50. If I'm not mistaken, there aren't even weapons. It's like a shell or something. You got like echoes or whatever, some format like that.
I have to come in here and be like a bit cynical here, right? So sorry, what the game that you guys were saying, was it called Etheria Restart?
Etheria Restart.
Etheria Restart. Okay, yeah. So,
Yeah.
See, I don't know what game it is, but regardless, I believe you guys 100%, and that's because of the size of the corporation, right? As it is,
Yeah,
it's
I looked
likely
it up. They're top 10 in China or something.
they're top 10.
The XD. Yeah, it said they were like a top 10 revenue market in China or something.
Oh wow, okay.
Really?
I guess in
Yeah,
their
I didn't know
messaging.
who made that.
Yeah, I mean, occasionally you'll have like a unicorn, kind of like a CEO or something like that, where that is like their goal, right? And they believe that what's best for the company is to actually be player friendly, and sometimes that works, right? Sometimes it does, and that's great, right? That's great if that's the case, and we'll just have to see how it does ultimately, right? But no, I mean, gacha games are comically expensive, or they're free to play. It just depends. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 100%. I totally understand your cynical look at everything, because I think both of us probably look at it as whenever a game does something, you're like, okay, how does this relate to money? In what way did they make this decision? It has to relate to it in some form. I do think that some devs though do care a bit more, like they are thinking a bit more of the player.
Yeah.
I think the biggest sign of that is when a change happens that people weren't even asking for. That seems really good, right? When something comes out and you go, oh, I didn't even think about that. Wait, that's a really good change. I think those are usually some of the biggest signs when a developer seems to really care.
I would agree unless
It's
it is like the Genshin stuff,
I was just gonna
where
say that.
they release every single QL possible
my
except
God.
for those which have been asked for.
No, I'm talking about good ones.
Stop.
Do you guys remember? Oh my god, the mail search. The mail search.
Yeah,
Yeah,
search. I love it.
But
Bro.
Oh my god.
Wait,
And there were
dude, you're
people
not
that were
checking out.
blasted. They were like, people were like, this sucks so hard. And then there are people like, actually, I've been asking for the mail search for 3 years. This is
I
actually,
wanted
and I'm just like, you're not, I'm like, you're
birthday
AI.
message.
Bro,
I'm like,
yo,
you're not
Mia.
human. You're an AI. There is no way that you are not either paid or an AI. There is no universe you're a real person.
Oh my gosh, no man, I gotta check out what Aloy sent me, man. Oh wait, what the heck?
Oh man.
3 years ago, yeah, 4 years ago, I gotta know what did.
Wait, I'm going crazy. I hear something playing in the background.
Is it
His age
like a
finally
video
caught
or
up.
something?
Oh, never mind. It was my music player. Sorry. Yeah, my music player went to the next. Oh well, I'm turning it off now, so it's all good. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, but in
sorry.
terms of like gachas as a whole, I don't know if this answers like the does it need saving, but man, there are so many gacha games coming out. It is kind of dude, I'm like kind of stumbling over myself a little bit. Like I tried Black Beacon, what was it, like 2 weeks ago, which honestly, like if the controls were a bit more optimized, I think that game would honestly be would actually be pretty fun. It does feel very, I think, like what a lot of people said, it feels very PGR-esque, which I can, it is an action combat game and it's more instance. Yeah, which I think is cool. But I mean, like, aside from that, I mean, I'm sure all of us are still in some way, shape, or form, like, waiting for whenever Arknights gets announced. Like, we got that Azure Promilia trailer completely out of nowhere. Like, I don't even know, I didn't know that Ethereum Restart was coming out, but like after watching that stream, I was thinking to myself, like, damn, that's Jenna, you and I like both came from like Epic 7. Dude, that game looks pretty, like that game at launch has everything that Epic 7 took, God, what, like 4 years to develop, which is like, I'm not saying that Epic 7 is going to like, keel over and die or anything, but damn, that looks like a real competitor. Like it's got the arena mode, it's got the RTA mode, they've got loadouts, which again, rest in peace, Bozo, Epic 7. Like they even do the skill descriptions. Like, I don't know if you saw like in their video when they described like what each of the characters' kits do. Like, it looks very, very similar. And it's not like something where you could pass off it as like a PvE only game. Like I think some people did when they were deciding between Star Rail and like Epic 7, because like one's PvP and one's more PvE. But then like this one is like, yeah, on launch, guys, we're gonna have a huge tournament. And I'm like, what? like people are gonna be, 3 days in and they're like, yeah, compete in this weekly tournament. If you basically want to do a Clash Cup equivalent to like League of Legends, like a weekly clash, and then there's the like World Championship that they have going on, which I guess like they already did prior. It's just that game and all the gachas recently have like been taking my eye. Like, I don't know if you know like that SpongeBob meme where his eyes are like splitting in like 2 different directions looking at a book, but like there's so much out. I didn't actually try, like I heard a lot of raving about the Expedition game, but I wasn't, like I was really, like I was about to buy it, but then I got sick, and then I was just like, I can't do it. But I heard like for the turn-based and the like strategy and like the game sphere right now, there are so many good games. And I don't know how anyone's even
every single other game right now.
Yeah, that game is like way better than like any. No gacha is even like even close in any way or form.
And you know what's crazy? People keep asking me if it's a gacha, and I think it's so funny. I'm like, bro, no, look at this. Like, this is like, bro, this is not like a gacha.
Right? Slightly off topic. Can we quickly acknowledge that somehow the entire yapping has completely healed Kenna's voice?
Yeah, I did wake up, to be fair. Like, it was my morning voice, and I just had to cough it out, I think 100 times. I think I'm back to semi-normal. But thank you guys for your contributions. It was 5, but it's 5 p.m. But I was working on something. Dude, I'm sick. You know what I mean? Like, when you're sick, the hours in the day might as well not have.
I wake up at like 8 to 9 p.m.
that is
nice.
10 hours.
I pinned a comment just for you. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
That is a funny comment.
It's true. It's so real.
It is.
Oh, I also did see. I heard you and Tectone talking about it a lot, Jenna. I randomly got like recommended YD playing that Wizardry Daphne game.
Oh,
that game
baby.
looks really fun. Actually, I'm not gonna lie.
That is the best gacha game on the market right now.
Dude,
baby.
That I didn't realize, like, because I looked at it and I was like, oh, this,
you thought it looked like shit, right?
Yeah, and I was like, and then I like saw like Whitey go through it. I'm like, this is kind of fun. This is like a dungeon you keep going through, and you have to like, you have to.
Yeah, wait,
it's like very
really quick. Like, I think a lot of people have no idea what you're talking about. Basically, there's this gacha game called there's this gacha game called Wizardry Variants Daphne, which is a name that makes no sense. But basically, the Wizardry series was the first JRPG ever made. Every JRPG you've ever played has been inspired by that franchise. And so they made a gacha game. So it's like an old school first-person dungeon crawler, and you pull characters like, a dwarf mage or like a elf thief or stuff like that. and it has like old school allocation of skill points and like learning skills and all that kind of stuff. But it's like the hardest gacha game ever made, where you'll just fight a mob and it'll just like blow you up in like 2 seconds. The game is
Yeah, or you'll like
absolutely
enter a
ridiculous.
room and there's just like traps everywhere, and you're like, oh well, well, you should have known better.
So
It has
basically,
permadeath and it's a gacha.
random
Here's my question.
hologram
I've been
sixes.
trying to. Oh, sorry. I've been
Like-
trying to expand my gacha knowledge. Should I play Wizardry or should I play Wuwa?
Wizardry.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
content creation, the Wuwa,
Yeah.
personal enjoyment. Try out both and see which one you like.
Dude,
Yeah, I
Whitey
think
got
also-
me with that clickbait thumbnail too. He said like I think the title was like Wizardry sucks, and in the first like 3 seconds of the video, he's like, "Sucks away 16 hours of my day." I'm like, dude, are you for real? Like, what is this, bro? Like,
It's a gacha that you can
Ooh.
play forever if you want.
Oh
yeah,
god, we sorely
it
need
looks like
that.
a dungeon sim kind of. Like you just keep going and summoning and crafting and, or I guess like upgrading your units. It looks really like if you like roguelikes, it at least to me from what I like watched from that video, it feels very reminiscent of that. And I was like, wow, I have never seen a gacha like that specifically, like in the modern age of like, Hoyo titles, Kuro titles, like anything like that. And I do think the concept is kind of funny. You get like, you're just like your first person view and then like allies just shoot out from like your sides or something. Like, and you have like your own character. He has like a reviving right hand or something. Just like
Yeah,
a
you
cool
revive
concept
your
in general.
allies. Yeah, no, the
Is it
game's
super big? Is it
hardcore.
super long?
Well, there's a lot of content.
Yeah, that's my
I mean,
question.
because the game is so hard, there's a lot of content. It's all PvE and stuff like that, though. It's big in Japan, but nobody really knows it outside.
Yeah, I would argue if you care about making content. I mean, it might still get more views than ZZZ, but that's not really that okay.
If you
I'm
wanna
not
make
sure about that,
content-
but
Then do not play that game. Wait, I'll be right back.
You guys
Dude,
know?
honestly though, oh sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you guys know what gacha game actually gets like a weird number of views?
What game?
What?
Oh man, I can finally talk about it at last. Battle Cats.
Shadow Cat is crazy.
No joke
Wait,
though.
What do you mean by like a weird amount of views? Like competitive to the what is it? Big 5, Big 4, whatever we're calling it now.
Well, if we look at Genshin's views lately, yeah. But
Wait,
yeah.
really? Holy crap! What
Yeah. Like some of the
Is it?
the Japanese content creators though, they get like 200, 3,000 views. I mean, it's pretty intense.
Dude, 200, 300,000. God,
Time to
damn.
learn Japanese.
Right?
See you guys in a couple years.
Oh my
Son of a
god.
Japanese buddy.
And the game is like what? Like how many years old
Like
now?
ancient.
Almost 12?
Yeah, it's like 10
something
years, something
insane
years.
like that. Yeah. So
Insane.
I've been wanting to like consider making just like a couple videos for fun, but I don't think it'll do like as well, over here on the EN side, but it's fine, right?
Dude, you
You
know
could be
what's-
the pioneer though.
What's crazy about that is that, like, I think I was talking to you about this before I went to lose. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like anyone in America, especially that like grew up with a PC, like maybe I'm just showing my gray hairs again, but like I feel like everyone has seen the concept of Battle Cats. Like I feel like it was like a rite of passage to try Age of War, which is like what it transitioned into, right? Like it's like you summon enemies from like left to right, or like you summon your allies or like your units left to right, and you have to like protect something or like beat down like a location.
Yes.
That's Battle
Yeah.
Cats, or am I?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like,
correct.
I feel like that was a childhood game that like every single person that I knew had played. Like
Did
people.
any of you play Cartoon Wars?
I played that, yes.
I think so.
did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yo.
dude, that game? I'm pretty sure it's before Battle Cats. So that game was goated. It was with stick figures, and they had like a cool weapons. You had like an RPG guy, like robot guy, like a bunch of different like army dudes, and it's the same concept of like
Yeah.
attack a base.
It is. And yeah, I mean, it's the one thing I like about Battle Cats the most is actually one of the most controversial things about Battle Cats. It's that polls are predetermined. Polls are predetermined. So if you know where you are on the poll ladder, you can know exactly when and what to poll for. So it's a completely different polling meta, which is kind of like, it's weirdly player friendly, but it's kind of like hush hush, right? So I find that interesting because like obviously the developers could change it, but they don't. So it's just there for anyone to be like, oh, I want this unit. Well, I know exactly when and how many polls it will take to get the unit. Sometimes is it 300 polls? Yeah, it is, right? But the thing is you know whether you can or can't get the unit. And that's kind of crazy
That's
about
actually crazy.
it is, yeah.
That's
Wait, so
like,
the
yeah,
polls
what kind
are
of open
progression
secret
based?
concept? That's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
and
basically like how everyone always has theories about like, oh, you know, I have a certain seeded account. It's like you
Exactly.
literally have a seeded account.
Yeah, like what the?
yeah, exactly. And in this case, it's just an open secret, so you literally like know. And I hope I don't like piss any like main battle cat players off, but that's not my intention here because it is a slightly controversial issue. But
Canceled, buddy.
I canceled over battle
Yeah,
cats.
it's Fitmonger's already written.
Oh man.
Yeah, enjoy covering wizardry now.
Oh man.
Twitch
It's over for me. It's Jover.
Hey, really quick, I apologize, guys, but I actually think I have to go. But
Yep.
All good.
I just want to say it was really great talking to everybody. Honestly, had a good time. I always love talking about stuff, so thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah, thanks for
problem.
joining.
Yeah, no
guys.
problem.
See you later, Jenna.
Thanks for
Appreciate
joining.
you.
Hope you guys have fun with the rest of the little podcast here, and I'll see you guys.
Sounds good.
Yo,
Alright,
thanks
see ya.
for joining.
Take care.
I just need to BRB as well, guys. As soon as we're
Everybody
Yeah,
here needing to take a break. Insane.
I need to pee.
Well, it is
I need to pee. BRB.
I'll go.
Also, Riv, Jason said hi. He just rated me, and he said to say hi.
Oh,
Okay.
Jason, that's my goat.
It's my go. Hey.
Oh, whoa,
That's
hey,
a-
hey,
whoa, whoa,
hey,
whoa,
hey,
whoa.
whoa, what do you
That's
mean by that?
my goat. Whoa.
Does he want to join or what's up? I don't
Yeah,
really
he could
look.
join.
Yeah, you can
Yeah, I
invite
mean,
him.
I would
Yeah,
be
why
fine
not?
with that if he wants to. Just don't really look actively in Discord, so. Sorry, Jason, if I missed that.
But yeah, honestly, the gacha space as a whole. Now that I don't know how many of us like actually play a wide range of gachas aside from Jenna. I know Jenna plays the most, and
What do you count as a
Honestly-
wide range?
I feel like that guy will boot up any kind of gacha, and that's actually why,
Okay, yeah.
like more
Jenna is
recently,
yours.
yeah, like any, like I think I saw him. Did he try Tribe 9? I think I've seen so many different kind of gachas on him. Which is like something that I like usually like late at night. I'll have like Jenna's stream open and he'll be like trying something like maybe a gacha, maybe a game. But I usually like I think I have like 100,000 or like 200,000 channel points in Jenna's chat from like back in the day, just sitting there and going like, all right, what's Jenna gonna play today? Is he's gonna do like a new gacha or like a new game? I think I like watched him play through a bunch of them. But in any case, if you guys, I don't know if you guys want to reel it back a little bit to Zenless, but
We have only talked about Zenless so far. What are you on about?
well, I mean, I feel like we talked about Wizardry, we talked about Wua, we talked about the anniversary rewards that
So we
don't
talked
have any
about
clue about.
ZZZ. I think we have been staying on topic pretty well, but honestly, I don't mind it. I think it has been cool.
Well, what did you want to talk about, Hannah?
Well, I was thinking like, because when we started this off, it was like, does Jenna even know what the hell we're talking about? Like Shiyu defense, like what is this boss he's talking about and stuff. Like specifically, if you guys want to talk a bit more about Zenless, I actually, I haven't done the new Shiyu yet. Currently, I know I want to lose you. You just did it, right? Like, did you find difficulty?
I did it, and I was playing atrociously, and I think I beat it. So
Wait, what?
Well,
What team did you
my
use?
complaints aren't on beating it, because I think you can always beat it because it's like Shiyu,
yeah,
Was it just like frustrating, like uncomfortable to play?
no. It was just
Yeah,
me
it's
being
annoying.
bad. Oh,
okay.
you're asking him. Yeah,
Well, wait, actually, if you don't mind me asking, what was the team you ran?
I
I
ran
wouldn't-
the first two teams in my presets, which I think were Miyabi Yanagi and Zhu Yuan Qingyi.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm back.
okay.
Sorry, didn't interrupt, but I'm back.
Welcome
so you
back.
brought Miyabi into the Terror Raptor.
Onto the robot. Yeah, it resisted it,
Yeah.
and I realized that after the fact.
But you still cleared?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
3-star?
Yeah.
Damn. That's crazy.
Dude, don't go back and watch the run. Oh my gosh. Please.
I'm kind of curious now. Like,
but you can see how bad I played, and it was still like
timestamp in the pod.
it's still just like obvious didn't. I don't know. I feel like Zenless is one of those games where, if you have properly built characters, you can just clear it. I mean, it's the same with most all Hoyoverse games, right? When your characters are properly built to a certain extent, and my account's way more invested than the average players, you can just clear it. So yeah, it's just a scarcity of resources issue. And that ties back into the earlier discussion of HP inflation. The reality is because the game started off and everyone's gear was just shit, right? No one had a single double crit. In fact, no one even had level 60 characters. Of course, the HP is going to be in the toilet for 3 to 4 patches. And after that, once your characters are fully built, all right, now we got to crank up the HP or else you're just going to instantly vaporize everything.
Okay, so, but that is not actually what I'm on about. The problem right now I see is the same, let's call it ramp up time we have had back then, new players now still have. And I think that is a little bit of a problem because even with Miyabi, you still, even with Miyabi, you don't clear Shiyu 7-1 within 20 seconds as it was when she released, Sure, I mean, it's ice resistant, but anyway. Point basically being, new players, I think, currently kind of struggle a little bit with the HP inflation. Also, hi, Jason.
Oh, Jason's here. Welcome, Jason. Hello.
Yo, we get him on.
Yeah. I think it has to do a little bit with an acceleration of the way they release characters. I feel like I'm a little... So my community is very plugged into this idea of doing speedruns or high point scores on Deadly Assault. So that's super, I guess you could say optimized gameplay. So one of the trends that I've been noticing is it's relevant for the Harumasa players, where there's this ramp up of needing more and more damage as the HP continues to increase. So let's say 2 updates ago, they didn't need any mind escapes on Qingyi. Now you need Qingyi M1 or Qingyi M2 to be able to kill the Shiyu in the allotted time for the run.
Need is kind of a strong word there, I feel like. Right?
It's Harumasa after all, no.
Oh, man.
Well, you get the idea where as the HP continues to go up, the existing characters with teams that don't change need more to do better, or to do as well as they were.
Yeah.
You see similar things where people will go, oh, to do this in Deadly Assault, you use M1 Astra.
So I think this is an interesting discussion because, I might hold an unpopular opinion here. And that is, let's say you had, you had a really powerful account in version 1.2, and now you log into Zenless Zone Zero. Should that player be able to clear everything very quickly and easily, as easily as they did in 1.2? My answer to that is no. Because otherwise the game stagnates, there's nothing harder, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I agree. I think progression is an inevitability because it's a live service game. I think the problem is the rate of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a bit, you could say it's a bit too rapid. Should M2's GN be that much worse than M2 Anby?
Oh, yeah, never pull for early character constellations. I will. Always
should M2 Qingyi be that bad compared to Trigger? It's kind of the thing where, yes, the progression is inevitable.
Bro.
It might be a little too quick.
Oh man, just wait for the Mindscapes in a year from now. Oh man.
Yeah.
Probably not even a year. I feel like the next Void Hunter is going to be crazy.
Huh? Sorry. What?
Are you still pulling cons on Genshin?
I am, yeah. Just my content.
Okay.
For now, it's still like viable for me to do so. But yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So you know all about
Oh,
Moika
yeah.
and Arlecchino.
Oh,
It's a sad state of affairs, man.
Yeah, Arlecchino, between Arlecchino and Mavuika, if are you comparing the two, right? Mavuika to Arlecchino?
Yes,
or?
I'm directly comparing the two.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the difference is definitely there, for sure, right? But we're talking like, I don't know. It's like the strongest versus the second strongest, right? It's like Goku versus Vegeta. Although Goku, wrecks Vegeta every time. But,
Here's the thing about Arlecchino. Arlecchino has what is possibly the biggest drawback you could ever get of a Genshin character. She cannot be healed. So while at C6 the difference is further exaggerated, it's also exaggerated when you're struggling to clear damage-wise.
Yeah, no, fair.
You
fair
know
enough.
what I mean when I say that? Where it's not just Zenless that's been having these issues. It's kind of all of the Hoyo games for the last year.
Well,
Another
but
example
it's
is
odd.
Caressa and Florand.
Is it not a little odd that that's happening in the first year of Zenless, though?
The first year, they need to establish their roster. Because
Yeah.
the starting cast that are there in 1.0 exists to be replaced with the first round of Limited. Which is maybe a hot take, but you saw that in Genshin as well, where you got Ganyu, Hu Tao, Xiao, Kazuha, Eula, Tartaglia. There were so many great characters in 1.x Genshin, and there were a lot less in 2.x.
I think the problem. So the thing is, for example, if I look at Vivian right now, Vivian M2 feels like it's the strongest mindscape we have had in the game so far.
Oh, that
I think
M6.
M2 is.
No, the
That
M2,
too.
not the M6.
Oh.
The M6 is kind of
Really?
hard to evaluate, in my opinion. But the M2 just feels extremely good in so many different regards. Not even damage-wise, but the fact that the anomaly build-up helps a lot in different teams. Especially in Yanagi teams, it honestly felt really, really good. Jane didn't really care too much about that, to be honest. But it also has been really good in Piper teams, because you get tumors, disorders out of that per rotation. So, just this, I don't know, this entire thing just, the Vivian mindscapes just feel better than all other mindscapes so far, I think.
They're gonna keep getting crazier, my friend. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I mean,
I promise
again, this has been my impression, so feel free to disagree with that. But I'm trying really hard to think where I was thinking like, oh, this Mindscape 2 might be the best one in the game so far, and I didn't really have that thought yet, except for
Jane has
Vivian.
a 50 to 70% difference from M0 to M2. It's just
Oh,
that
yeah.
Jane
has a
lower
good one
baseline.
too, but the different, like Jane M1 is like 20% and the M2 is like 27%, which is still really good. But then you have Vivian coming in at 40% for the M2. Yeah, depending on the team, obviously. But
I would need to see a citation on that. I think Vivian's M1 is kind of better.
the M1 is really good, but the M1 is so the problem is that her M1 scales with everything. So the M2, like the fact that you just have this QOL is already what feels really, really good in that regard. It's not even really good, it's just a simple damage boost because you can, like Piper M0 versus M1 is just disgustingly different. That Piper, Astra, Vivian just spends the stacks like crazy.
Okay, interesting.
I think a chatter of mine brought up a really good point about the Arlecchino Mavuika issue. It happens so fast, and that's actually a really good point. Is that Arlecchino wasn't out for long before Mavuika just kind of stampeded all over her.
His first rerun.
Yeah. Oh, so that's another thing about these gacha games lately is it's so hard to recommend pulling for characters on reruns unless it's like a
unless
character.
you really like them.
Yeah, unless it's like a character for one of the characters you previously pulled on. Like, you pulled Mavuika, no Sitlali, it makes sense to get Sitlali, right? But yeah, like otherwise, they tend to rerun characters right before they power creep them. Like look at Chlorond, look at Arlecchino.
Oh no,
look
Jane.
Look at yeah, whoever it might be, right? It's a common pattern in most gacha games, which it is what it is. Yeah, and I think Shilinin as well to a lesser extent. At least she's like very universal, but the thing is, we're gonna get more specialized supports in a game like Genshin. We're gonna get more Sitlalis. We're gonna get more Escoffiers as we move forward, so on and so forth. So. Kazuha, Shilinin, their roles are going to be squeezed, not out, because you can always use them with everyone, kind of like Varina and Wuthering Waves. But, there's going to become more niche as time goes on, because specialists tend to do the job better.
Speaking of which, we kind of had that discussion in a stream of mine yesterday. Do you guys prefer generalistic support? So let's say basically Astra, except maybe not that good, or more niche supports?
Newer players, newer accounts should prioritize generalized supports and then, have the proper DPSs to beat certain elemental advantages and mechanics. And then veteran accounts should focus on specialized. That's my opinion.
So what's your...
That makes the most sense.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. But let's call, let's say in terms of what should they release? Would
Zenless Zone Zero, at its early, it's still in what I would describe as its early meta, and starting to branch out from that. But right now, they should release general supports because we only have Astra
for every role.
Yeah, we only have Astra right now, and we need Caesar too, I guess. Both of them are very generalist, but that will change as time goes on. So I think it comes with the maturity of the game too. And what's insane is that now Genshin has finally reached the point where they're starting to do that. So it's a long process, but it's happening.
I mean, I personally love these super niche supports. They make team building more interesting than just slapping the generic team together.
Yeah.
Because usually these characters have a significant drawback, whether it be in Genshin with the element restrictions you see on someone like Chevreuse or potentially Escoffier. In Zenless, I really like Lighter. And one of the reasons Lighter is good is because he's so niche. And the downside for that is Lighter is only as good as the DPS he's supporting. If there's no one for Lighter to support, then he's not a great character to pull for. But I really like that about him.
Yeah, Lighter's one of my favorite characters too. He's great.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, as a player, I know the smart thing to do is as I went to lose said it. The smart thing to do is not to pull for, the general supports until your account is kind of set. Not to pull for the specialist support until your account is kind of set with good general supports, I guess. But as a player, I much prefer to play like best in slot teams. So I like to pull for more specialist supports, if that makes sense. Yeah. And I don't know if that's like a common thing from like a player perspective, where players will prefer to like you kind of like we said with Lighter. It's like, would players prefer to pull for him or just run Astra in the team and call it a day? Do you know what I mean?
I went to lose. Can you make a poll in your chat?
Yeah, sure.
What chat prefers? I think it would be interesting to see what the general player is, because I'm also on the side of I would prefer more specialized supports instead of just another Astra Yao, which basically is a must pull.
Astra has a lot of downsides. There's a lot of room for new support agents with Astra. She doesn't really apply anomaly. She doesn't generate energy, and she doesn't do damage or really apply days either. I think there's a lot of room for other characters. Astra isn't dominant mechanically. She's very dominant numerically, though, where they just have to release better supports to be better than Astra.
Yeah, I was gonna say, specialize is good, but it also depends how they release that specialized character with their specialized DPS in terms of like banners.
I was thinking more alongside what Gib was gonna say. Like, I think in a perfect world, it would be. So again, I don't know how many of you guys, or if you did or didn't watch the Etheria Restart live stream yesterday. That dev said, or like the dev in I guess, in an effort to be more free to play, was saying that they wanted to make characters niche so that it feels like you or like whoever's playing the game, if they have or they pull a character from the banner, it feels like they have a use for it. It's not like, oh my God, all right, like you're going to use the same cookie cutter team, figure out the meta, and then just run it. However, I think while that's like a nice kind of idea, like kind of like what Gib is saying, how you are actually able to receive or even gain access to these characters is a little bit tough, right? Because, you know, what if you do introduce all these like niche supports, right? But like the niche support, you know, will cost you like $300, but you can only use it with like ether plus physical teams or something, like some specific condition. Like, well, I think it's fine. Like, I think that's amazing. I'm curious, like, what you guys' thoughts are. Like, maybe it has to be like through A ranks or something, or it has to be like more free to play friendly. Because I don't know if I would, as a gacha player and even as like a creator, recommend someone pull a niche support. Like, even though, again, I think that's healthier for the balance of the game.
It's definitely a hard to sell. Yeah, that's true.
You wouldn't ask people to pull Jianxia for Acheron?
Right, you tell them to pull for certain characters, right? If they're specialized.
Yeah, it's like if this, then that, I guess.
Oh, okay, I see.
So, I thought Gibbs' point was going to be about the difference between banners. Take Mahuika, Seat Lolly, they released at the exact same time.
That is what I'm talking about.
Or,
yeah.
Zenless, Lighter, and Evelyn were separate. You had a
Lighter
3-day window
they were separate,
to
but
pull
then
Lighter.
Astra was right next to it.
Yes.
Yeah, Evelyn Astra.
You had a 3-day window to pull Lighter after Evelyn was revealed, which is not reasonable.
Yeah.
If you pulled Lighter on his initial run, you were pulling him as a speculative asset or for Soldier 11 or Ellen.
Soldier 11, yes sir.
Ellen.
I think Ellen is actually the only character who had the rerun after they were power crept.
Arlecchino reran after Mahuika released.
Okay, fair, but Arlecchino is... Okay, no. Yeah.
Wait, did they rerun her after? Oh. Huh.
Yeah, it was the same update.
Ah. Brutal. But yeah.
On the topic, I guess, of like balance and stuff, I am also pretty hopeful. In that dev talk, they did talk, or they did say specifically that they were carefully observing like the strength of characters and how they how the old characters will synergize with future characters. And they made a specific shout out to the kit, the Lost Void
gear,
kit things.
Yeah, that they have in Lost Void.
Yeah.
Which again, I've only heard that this is something that's, I don't know what other gacha games have it, but I heard like Honkai Impact, I think, has something like that. I think if there ever, I mean, if there were like a Hoyo title to do it, it would probably be Zenless, but I think it would be so cool. Like if that's like their end game, like they keep releasing, like, you know, you can release niche support or whatever, but then like if anyone ever falls to the wayside, they make them like a more specialized like support through like the Lost Void kits. I think that would be like honestly a dream. I don't know if that would sell. Maybe it would, I guess, actually, because like, you know, oh my god, look, the new character is insane. We buffed them or something like that. But originally I thought that there was something where like after a banner character is released, you're not allowed to like alter them in any way. Isn't that like a
nerf them?
No.
Just no nerfing. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's pretty.
Oh, okay,
it's just nerfing. Yeah, I think you can buff it.
You can buff it. You can also. So technically, you can also change it as long as you give the option to basically retain the original one.
Well,
Star Rail announced they were buffing 4 characters in version 3.4.
Yeah.
All of the Stellaron Hunters and Jingliu.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. I think it'd be really funny if Zenless's buffs hit first.
Zenless's buffs probably will hit first. Realistically.
I think the reason to roll that out specifically for 2.0 is it's 1, the anniversary, 2, it's the version update. If there was ever a time for lapsed players from 1.0 to return to the game, it's 2.0.
But do you think they'd have cooked
And-
it fast enough?
I mean, if it's just the Lost White stuff, then yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
When people return to the game, they're probably going to have Ellen, and they kind of want to be able to play her
Yeah.
and have a measure of success. She doesn't have to be the best, but you kind of want her to be a little bit more competent.
Is she that bad right now? I haven't used her in a while.
Go Go for it. Make a run with her.
I think I think I talked with a few like TCers about this. I think it really just depends on your definition of bad. Like, I'm fairly certain that like if Jason or any of like the speedrunners were to like put their effort into like Lycone, Sokaku, Ellen, they'd probably still like 3-star or clear like the deadly assaults, the Shius, etc.
So
You
I don't
can
think
get
that's
30k.
yeah, but like I think like when we say or when people say like Ellen is bad, I think like it depends like again where your standards are, because like 30k might be bad, or sorry, like for some people like 30k is bad because like Miyabi for instance is like 60 or
Okay,
like 50.
so the problem, in my opinion, with Ellen is not that she can't clear whatsoever. That's not the point. The problem is that to be able to clear 30k with Ellen, you need to put in much, much more effort than every other character released afterwards, including Sujan, in my opinion. But Sujan is also just hard carried by the wheelchair. But I don't know. It just feels like it is so much harder to get an acceptable score with Ellen compared to, again, literally, well, not literally, but nearly every other child.
So, well, let's say the hardcore players are getting 30, 40k. What does that mean for the lapsed players, or someone more casual? Let's say they have a 39 sub Ellen build.
That is really easy to do. You go on Pridwin, you go into Deadly Assault, and you have a look, and Ellen is currently not even fucking
Not
listed,
clearing.
or I'm blind.
Yes, literally not clearing.
Jesus.
That is the point that I'm trying to make.
Yeah,
No,
that's
here.
rough.
Yeah.
18,000
It's-
points on average.
Ben is
Yes.
higher.
It's
True,
Yikes.
Ben is higher.
Wait, really? No
it's
way.
easy to sit from
It's probably because Ben's niche, so it only has good players playing Ben.
Yeah.
it's really easy to look down
It's
on the
crazy.
mountain and say, "Oh, it's so easy to climb, just get up here." But it's a struggle for a lot of players, and I try to look at the ease in which a character achieves like scores to be relevant, because we're content creators, we're putting much more time into the game than the community as a whole. You want your standards to be elevated because your minimum might just be unable to clear for most players.
I think it depends a
And it's
little
something
bit.
you see a lot in Genshin too. That's something I've been very cautious of, and it's why I call out Ellen and sometimes Jane.
Honestly,
I
I
mean, I
think Jaina
think,
with Vivian is quite fine.
I think it's
Yeah,
just
but
like
you have to have Vivian. Only thing.
Oh yeah, true. But I mean, for Ellen, you need to have Trigger or Cesar or whatever. You always need some other characters.
I guess it's just that like even if it's like widely agreed that like X character is bad or not, maybe it's just too many one guys in the comment sections that are like, "You're saying Ellen is bad? I did 45k Ellen," and then like I don't know how many of these
Send
you
me the
guys
tape.
get, but I
Send me the
get
tape.
a lot. I get a lot of those like, "Oh my god, you oh my god, you think Nekomata is awful? I did 64k," and I'm like 64k like a Nekomata.
Yeah, you
And then
got,
they
like, the
they
one
come back to me. It's like
stupid
M6
Nekomata.
Astra, M6 Neko, like probably
M6
hacked Slide
Trigger.
or something. And again, like I'm sure that, and why I don't hold myself like too. I don't hold any of my opinions on how good or bad a character is. Like I don't hold them too firmly, because like again, for some of these characters, I'm sure that my average score will always bounce between like maybe 30 to like 45k. But like ultimately, I know that there's like a Jason or there's like someone that's behind me that's going to like absolutely dunk on my head and like get 10 or 20,000 more like score. So like that's why like I think it's you're fair to say like, you know, you want to be cautious. You don't want to say that like Ellen is worth it. But like also some people's standards are so low that it's like if you can get the primos, like, you know, like it is what it is. Like, and then, you know, in the future patch when you can't get the primos, then it's like, oh my God, like, you know, the house is on fire. But like I think it goes both ways. Like I don't want to say like Ellen is bad and then get brigaded by like Ellen mains, like r/Ellen mains or something, and they're like, whoa, like take a look at my trigger or like my lighter Sokaku score or my Lycone lighter duo. God, I've seen so many comments about that too. But like I don't know. I when I did my Ellen updated video, I feel like she didn't feel any better even after using her with like a lighter. And I think actually the best team that I found for her was lighter Sokaku compared to any of the others. Even doing like Lycone Astra or doing lighter and Astra and just like foregoing her passive. And if you're being paired with the premium supports and you can't clear or like you can't get like the 40 to 50Ks, I do think that's a bit alarming. But you know, I also received like a bit of pushback. People were saying like, oh, well, you know, we don't need to be 50. Like this Astra team that did 35, like we're all good to go. Like we're thumbs up, you know? So I don't know. I guess maybe it's just a perspective thing.
Yeah, but the problem is also that I think the problem is that on average, you know, if you look at your Deadly Assault scores and you get 35K, you are top 2% of players. Let's say top 3%, depends on the server, obviously. If you get 35K, the players who are maybe less skilled or are on a phone, whatever, using the same team will not get 35K.
Oh gosh, the phone handicap.
I cannot play on the phone whatsoever. I mean, I also can't play without the phone, but you know. I personally think it's always very, very subjective and really hard to judge because every person plays different and every person has a different experience playing. You know, like some people just cannot play certain characters. For example, I cannot play Rina for shit. Whenever I start slotting in Rina, I get 20K and J-Stern makes 60K. Does that mean Rina is bad when I say it didn't perform well for me? No, obviously not. I just cannot play fucking Rina.
So we did kind of forget an important point about balance, right? I think these games are all balanced. Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Just 1 second. Goba, thank you very much for joining.
Oh, okay.
Thanks for inviting me. Yeah, I gotta
See
go.
you, Goba.
Yeah, Goba.
Yeah, thank you,
Nice
man.
meeting you.
Nice meeting
Yeah,
you.
it was nice meeting you. Bye.
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 Yeah, these games are balanced around mobile players being able to clear. Which is why I think a lot of like the more hardcore gamers are like, oh, this game is so easy, right? Like, oh, Genshin's a super easy game. Or, you know, Zenless Zone Zero is really easy. I mean, play it on mobile for a lot of them, and then that perspective will probably change because of the PC,
100%.
like the PC advantage. Yeah.
For what it's worth, I
think
actually...
Zenless
Oh,
is
sorry,
fine
go ahead.
on mobile.
Zenless
I
is
think
one of the
Zenless is
better
actually
ones.
fine on mobile.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a jump button, and you don't really need to move your characters that much. The auto target is very generous, and most of the recent characters have very large AoEs.
Yeah. And
I
also,
would say
like,
that you kind of
don't
need a
think one
decent
mobile is
phone
that bad.
to run it at a base level, though.
that too.
Oh, that's fair.
I was gonna say whenever I play, so like I don't know if I'm like maybe I don't know who else here plays Zenless on phone. My phone, like I have like I swapped my phone to like, or I increased the storage of my phone and I got an upgrade because I was playing so many gacha games. My phone does not get heated for any game except for Zenless.
Oh, that's
like,
weird.
Like hot enough that it says like when I have it charged or plugged in, it says like, hey, we're gonna just stop charging until your phone goes back to like a normal temperature, which is fine because I only spend like 15 minutes in Zenless for dailies, but
Oh yeah, that's crazy. Actually, for me, the game that always sends my phone to the moon. Well, there's two actually. Well, you know, the main one is Wuthering Waves. That one just like
Wuthering Waves
obliterates
turn your
it.
phone into a bomb.
Oh man. Sometimes Wuwa maxes out my 4090 as well. And I just see that like, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
The heck is
Do you
going
guys
on?
get the thing when you load up Zenless that it like fake crashes? I get it like every time.
No, I've
since
never-
1.0.
No, I don't.
Like,
I don't know what that is.
Like the game is perfectly fine. It loads every time, but it goes like into like a white screen. I get that like every time I load up Zenless, where it like fake crashes and then it goes into processing the resources and everything. And I think that's an optimization problem because even my Wuwa doesn't do that, and I know Wuwa has its fair share of optimization problems.
Nope, literally never had that.
No.
Funnily
dang.
enough, for me, on my phone, Wuwa works the best.
Yeah,
Genshin the
Wuwa is
worst.
ice cold for me actually, which is like insane because I don't know what it is about Zenless, but like I wish I could like transmit temperature to you guys. Like it's literally untouchable. That's actually part of the reason why I haven't done like toilet Shiyu. It's because sorry, what's up?
Check the frame rate your phone is trying to run the game at.
Should I cap it
See
at like?
if it's trying to run uncapped frame rate.
Okay, I will open it up on my phone.
Does mobile have that option?
I don't know.
I know
Well,
that. I
That'd be
know it on the
crazy.
newer.
Trying to run
Yeah.
uncapped on your phone is crazy.
Well, I know on the newer iPhones, Genshin runs at 120 unless you cap it.
Oh wow.
Exclusively on iPhone.
Yeah, that's the only reason
Exclusively,
why I haven't
exactly.
tried clearing Shiyu on it. My hands literally start burning from holding it. Like it's like my phone is like a hot potato.
That
Like
is
while I'm doing
crazy.
Shiyu. Like what am I supposed to?
Oh guys,
Like,
check
what is
this
this
out.
thing?
YouTube now you can pull up a chatter. Has that always been a thing?
Really?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Whoa, that's
Uh,
crazy. So this chatter says 40K for each side is top 3% in Asia. That's actually crazy though.
Okay, but that's Asia, you know?
Huh.
Like, Asians are built differently. The funny part is if you look at this for EU or US, I'm quite sure it's 25 to 30K. Well, not 30. Yeah, maybe 30K should be like top 2, top 3%.
Okay, there
What
is a setting
kind of-
for. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What's been kind of happening with the scores is as these updates become quieter and quieter, less people are doing Deadly Assault, so the percentile becomes harder to get because less people are doing it. And
I suppose the ones who are doing it
That's
are
fair
more
point, yeah.
dedicated players. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
Point, yeah.
I didn't know the scores were server locked. That's good to know. That's pretty interesting. Yeah. Okay. Anything else we want to talk about? Cover most of the stuff.
I would be interested in the weapon situation and WoWa, what we are thinking about. Not in WoWa, in BZ.
Zenless should no. This is good that you brought up Wuwa though, because Zenless should 100% go for the 100%. But I feel like since they still have the Hoyo tree umbrella that they have to be under, they're probably going to keep the 75-25.
There's a rumor. I don't know how
like
true
the
it is,
what-
but
Dude, the
oh, wait,
A ranks.
You're gonna say the same
oh
thing.
my god, the A ranks in this game are so bad. Oh my god. Sorry, I should say more
I
specific.
really
I am
like
so-
the 1% weapon drop rate on Zenless. It's higher than any of the other Hoyo games.
I didn't even know
So
it drops
engines
like
are
that in the other
theoretically
Hoyos.
cheaper.
Uh,
Genshin is 0.7.
Is it just from
Starro is
killing mobs?
0.8. No, I'm talking about the banner rate.
Oh. I was like,
Like
that's crazy. I don't
purples.
think I've ever killed like
the rarity of
my-
pulling an FMech engine in Zenless is 1%. Condensed average, because it doesn't. It's adjusted.
Does
for the
that
soft
actually
video
change
rather
a
than
lot
like
though, in terms of like actually like statistics? I know you do the math and stuff. Like
significantly.
if you're pulling like, and one guy's got a 0.6, you got a 1%. Like obviously there's a
I mean,
difference,
that's
but
double,
like
right?
I feel
Like
like
almost double. So
I feel like they're like it's still so small that like they should just be guaranteed at the end of the day. I don't know.
Okay, how do I put this into words? The difference in average pull cost for a Mindscape and an engine is the engine is 2/3 the cost of the character.
Yes, it's cheaper.
If
That sounds about right.
it
Yeah.
is significantly cheaper.
Mhm.
So
But-
that's the difference between $300 and $200. Sword.
That's a lot of money.
The statistics
True.
behind it are pretty interesting. 91.18%, courtesy of Rivenous' website, has the Hailstorm Shrine for Miyabi, whereas only 56.21% has the Tusk of Fury for Caesar. So it's just like a really
Yeah,
very character dependent.
I used that to make a point in a recent video I made about how good Trigger's engine is. Because if you look at how good Trigger's
Trigger,
engine
yeah.
is, yeah, it's in 70 somethings, and obviously these are the dedicated players, the ones who put it into the Riv's website, the internet network. But I think it kind of just shows that we're kind of going in a direction with weapons right now.
And then you look again at Vivian. 54% have her
that's
signature,
fine.
and
Yeah, that's totally
41% have
fine. Yeah.
weeping. But that just shows. To be fair, I'm actually more surprised at Avalanche's weapon. That it's, let's call it, only 66% signature.
Oh, Riv, can you do us a favor with your website?
Sure.
Can you put their names so you can control F and then, just you'll hop to the character? Because right now, like, I have
for
to,
the character.
You have to,
this
like,
thing is
look
not
at
the
each
final
one.
design anyway.
Oh,
This is a
I know,
placeholder.
dude. Yeah, I know. I'm just the personal request.
I'm
of mine.
currently. Yeah, I will do that after I'm done with Weathering Waves. I'm just too addicted currently.
Thank you, buddy.
If you look at Ellen, she also has 90% engine ownership. It's not
That's
about
crazy.
how
Wait,
good the
90?
engine is as much
70.
as it is how popular
Yeah, I think a lot of people
the
also just
Pride
like
Data
the
has
character.
90.
Oh, well, Ellen is a
Yeah,
unique
it's mostly
case.
popularity.
Ellen is a unique case because she's the very first character, and we got a
Yeah,
gazillion
she's also the
polls
launch character.
on release, right?
Right.
So you're like, oh, I'll pull for Ellen. Oh, hey, look, it's a shark circle thing. I'm gonna press that button. The average player in the game.
Well, I think the point I'm trying to make with this is popularity is a really important factor in how many polls people are willing to invest in them. And that in turn affects how meta a character is. In Genshin, there was this character named Lenny, and he's great. No one likes Lenny, so you could never really consider him meta.
Oh, poor Lenny.
On the topic of W engines, by the way, man, this battle pass W engine, oh my god, these battle pass W engines need to get a facelift.
Yeah, they need to
something.
get reworked. I don't know how Zenless is bad. Like, they're like all bad. I don't know how all of them are like terrible.
I mean,
like, it's
Like,
crazy.
lip gloss is fine.
Lip
Don't get
gloss
me
is
wrong.
fine.
What I was
Yeah, but
kind of trying to mention is if you throw shade at Raiden, even today, people will throw hands with you. People will go up to bat and say Raiden is still an amazing DPS.
Ooh.
And you won't
And
get
that person
from a
probably
popular
has
character.
C3R1.
Yeah, that people are more willing to invest polls into these popular characters.
Okay.
And you see it with Miyabi, you see it in Genshin.
Okay, so out of all three of these games, I will say, I think Wuthering Waves has the worst 4-star weapons. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
Wuthering Waves 4 stars
The-
are absolutely horrendous. They are so bad.
So, but the thing is, Wuthering Waves also has the guaranteed weapon
They
banner.
have the guaranteed weapon banner, yes, to
Yeah.
compensate.
And that is a little bit what I wanted to kind of actually sail towards, if that makes sense. I was wondering if the difference or a trend in ZZZ is big enough to warrant saying, okay, we want 100% guarantee on the weapon banner. I personally think, honestly, for most weapon, it's fine. But sometimes there are just too big of a differences. And I mean, if you have seen the Yijuan drip marketing, there seems to be a new class. At least there is a new icon, which we don't know about yet. And that means a new weapon. And if those 4-star weapons suck ass, so the problem we kind of have is if there is no other standard S rank, which also has this new class, we are unlikely to get also a standard S rank weapon for that new class, which would mean that we only have one S rank option, and the A ranks might just not be good enough.
When it comes to A rank, yeah.
Yeah,
Remembrance. Remembrance. There's a new battle pass. There's a new free to play. Hopefully they do the same.
So
Yeah,
my opinion
sure.
on
But the
like,
question is it good enough?
we'll just have to see, right? If they release a craftable engine that's like 75 to 80%. That's not great, but you know, it's on par of expectations. And that's personally what I would expect them to do, is to give some free to play options that are in the 70 to 80% range, right? Tends to be how it works.
So I'm not like a Star Rail or like Genshin Frog. Like I've only spent, I guess, or I haven't spent enough time in the Hoyo like verse to kind of, but like, do all of the battle pass and like do all of the A rank engines in the other games of eventually, or like the 4-star engines or weapons eventually find a use? Because like I not to like bring it back, but like when are we ever going to use these like battle pass engines? Like when are we going to use canon?
Yeah, Zenless has the worst of all of the Hoyo games in terms of battle pass.
I think Star Rails are equally bad.
Oh yeah, you know what? Yeah, Star Rail's battle pass is actually pretty bad. The new Remembrance battle pass is good though, but most of the people getting Remembrance characters are probably just getting their light cone, I feel like.
Genshin is the outlier here with actually good battle pass weapons, I would say. It's kind of the other way around, that Genshin's the one that's like, wait, what? And at least until recently-ish, Genshin has been good with 4 stars in general, like having really overpowered 4-star characters, right? Xingqiu, Bennett, Xiangling, they're still some of the best characters. Huh? Oh yeah, they just released Yansan. Exactly, she's incredible. So I think when it comes to handling 4-star characters, Genshin's done a great job. 4-star weapons is decent too, right? You have some pretty ridiculous ones, but Zenless Zone Zero, I mean, the most egregious case I would say is Trigger, right? And I agree with this. I think there will always be some characters where their Wenjin's going to make a bigger impact, and it's up to us to just kind of inform them, hey, look, like, if you want Trigger, you better pull for that Wenjin.
Actually, I think the biggest difference is actually Ambi.
Oh, Sambi.
Soldier Zero.
Well, isn't it just, again,
Her engine is actually really good.
I don't know if this is something that happens in like Genshin, but like, are there like stat breakpoints? Because like, I know a lot of people that pulled from Miyabi's engine just because they were like, I don't know how the hell I'm gonna get 20 crit rate on an anomaly engine, and like, I guess you could use like you know whatever, an S rank like attack W engine on an anomaly character, but like in 99%. Like that I think is kind of, you know what I mean? Like it's like a 2-prong kind of feels bad moment, you know? Not only are you like statistically doing less damage, it's harder to build.
So Genshin actually did have a threshold weapon. Shillinen's 5-star weapon only gives a damage buff if she has a certain number of defense.
But that was super easy to reach.
Leveled, she will get that defense. Yeah.
Well, I think Kana means kind of the reverse scenario where the character has a breakpoint where you need the Wenjin to reach. Yeah.
Like, is that common in other titles? Because I feel like
not
like
really.
Something that I've seen a lot of people talk about is like how bad it feels. Like, and I've done like account reviews for people, and if like, I mean, I'm sure you guys have done it too. Like, if you see people's accounts when they don't have like signatures on characters, like you know, on like Trigger or I think Trigger and Miyabi are like the biggest offenders. It's like, how are you getting 80 crit rate like without all of your stats looking super, you know, like top 1% basically on these characters?
The problem is for Miyabi, it's not even crit rate.
Yeah. It makes you feel like it makes you feel like it's a necessity, right? I think that's one issue.
Yeah. That's a good way. That's a good way to put it. I agree with that.
Because if you're on 60%, you still get like some of that anomaly build-up buff. You just don't get all of it.
Yeah.
It's go ahead.
People like to treat this stuff like it's all or nothing, but it's not. You still get most of, if not essentially all of the benefit, being a couple points short.
Yeah.
You don't need 3.4k attack on Astra. You don't need a 90 crit rate on Trigger.
Yeah, but when I flex it on Twitter, what will they say when they say Pepe W crit rate where?
Of course, there is the FOMO as well. Yeah. I think the reason why Miyabi's is so high might actually also be because she did run for that extended period in 1.4.
She did, yes.
Yeah.
I think the problem with Miyabi is mainly that the damage difference for Miyabi specifically is just so astronomically high I'm actually not sure if it has been the highest out of any Hoyo game so far.
You did not make a pun there, did you?
Did I?
You did. Astronomically. Oh, whatever. Okay.
No, man,
Okay,
that is just the you.
Okay, buddy. Okay,
Oh,
buddy.
the dad worms
I think
in my brain.
pressing issue for me with Zenless engines is a lack of variety. Engines being usable in other agents is something that's really nice
Oh
about
yeah,
Genshin.
that's a good point.
Oh yeah.
Escoffier is a polearm support, and she may release with a polearm that could be good on Chevres or Yansa.
Hey.
Maybe, I don't know.
Theoretically.
Just
Theoretically.
Oh yeah, might have somewhere to be. But no. I mean, you make a really good point. Like, you know, I'm about to slap the Hailstorm Shrine on my Piper. You know, it's a great engine for other anomaly
Crit
agents.
Viper, let's go.
It would have been cool if Trigger's engine was any aftershock, not specifically electric, so you could use it on
Yeah,
Pulchra.
it's too specific. It is, but they don't want Trigger's Wenjin being better on Pulchra than Pulchra's Wenjin, right? One interesting thing about Zenless is they want the 4-star characters for their signature Wenjins to actually be their best option at, like, you know, signature like
R6 or
U5
whatever,
exactly, yeah,
5.6,
U5
yeah.
versus U1 5 stars. I think that's an interesting design choice in comparison to the other games.
For what it's worth, some of the support W engines.
They're great.
Like when they're good, they're good.
Yeah.
You know, like Kaboom and I guess depending on what character you're using, like, you know, Sokaku's, like these are fine. I just think that, like, I don't know, it feels so bad. I just have like a few comments here and there. It's like, hey guys, I just started because of like X reason, pulled Vivian, or like pulled X character, trying to like reach like the stat threshold that you recommended or something, and then they have like a battle pass W engine, or they have like a W engine that just doesn't give them anything, or they're trying to build like an attack agent, and they're like, oh yeah, I need like 80 crit rate. Wow, that's crazy. My crit damage is 90. Like what happened to the rest of my like damage? Which again, I know like the math like pans out, so it's like, but I think like even from like a feeling POV, like just having, I feel like, more impactful or even like above, what is it, like 74 75 threshold performance W engines in general would be nice. We've gotten some of the event engines, which I thought was cool, like Mercado Desire was fantastic. Like I like that one, especially if you don't want to buy like Cannon Rotor or get Cannon Rotor. But I mean, I don't know, I think maybe what it is, I just have like trauma from seeing so many Miyabis without like a crit W engine, and then I've seen them on like Cannon Rotor, or I've seen them on like Ellen's engine, and I'm like I get it, you got to do this. Like I completely understand, but damn, this like feels bad from like a player view. Like, have you guys ever had to do that in like another title? Like, oh man, like don't have Staff of Homa, better put on like the Staff of Water because it has the stats or something.
Well,
like what the.
I will say I don't think we're ever going to get like a Primordial Jade Cutter in this game, you know, something that's just so universal for your account that you can just be like, oh, now I can just throw this on every sortie and they're going to be doing a gazillion more damage, right? It just doesn't seem to be the case for most of these gacha games these days. So yeah, I mean, the issue of like over specialization with Wenjins, you know, you got to be one of those players that decide, am I a husbando and waifu collector, or am I someone that wants to make a, you know, literally like almost half of my characters much stronger? And it's just a choice that players just have to make, I feel like, with the way that the business model is these days. So yeah,
I will say I do like, in a non-overwhelming way, like, I don't, you know, maybe this is like a bit off topic, I do like how much Vivian feels like she helps out the older anomaly characters. I know there's like differing like results on this, but I have never seen so many people asking me about Grace in my entire life. And I'm on it. Hey, and you know, name card controversy aside, let me tell you, like, being able to play that character in any capacity is a dub for me. Like, being able to, you know, like, I don't need to get like the highest score. If I can score my 30k while throwing, you know, shock grenades at people, and I got Vivian and she's helping me do it, then you know what? Like, that's fine. I think I don't know if it's in the current Deadly Assault, like UCC, like the robot. That guy's also Ether and Electric Week, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be so sick, isn't it? And I was just like throwing grenades at like the robot and seeing it disarm. Oh, it was so satisfying, honestly. I don't know if you guys have. I'm sure you guys probably just use like Yanagi or something, but I had such a blast actually playing Grace, Vivian, and of course there's no like Grace propaganda. But I hope they like release more things, like not just like characters, but like everything. I don't know, like sets, engines, characters that kind of do that.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think
it's crazy.
I wanna know
Evelyn doesn't
about
have a set in the game yet.
Yep.
True.
Where's my Evelyn set? Oh, yeah.
Dude, you got it. It's Hormone.
Blue
No,
Witch.
that's Hugo's set.
No, no, not Hormone.
What, dude? What the heck? Like everyone told me I could run Hormone Punk on everything if I'm perfect. If I just
Yeah.
perfectly keep a 20-second timer in my head, I can perfectly play every single scenario.
Okay, so that's a really big fix I'd love to see. Can we just not have to count the seconds in our head, please? Can that be a thing?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the buff timers would be really good, but I doubt we're gonna get it because I think it only applies to like 1% of the player base that actually.
No. Wait. Hoyo has literally never gave a fuck about showing anything relevant in the UI. Any kind of buffs or timers, you do not see. It doesn't matter which game it is.
Starro has like their full dedicated
No,
page,
but they
don't
don't show the buffs so that you can just go buy the weapon, so you don't have to care about the buff because the weapon is making you do more damage.
that's a crazy line. I mean, whether that's the case or not, I just think like it is kind of annoying that even if they don't want to, adjust that or like improve the buffs themselves or like buff icons, like why can I not just make it bigger? Or like why can't I just see them on like even like elite mobs or something or anything? I just maybe it's like the clutter, maybe it would look too unfriendly, like too intense or something, and that's not the vibe they're going for. But like, dude, I think it is so frustrating that I have to like look, like, to be clear, by the way, I'm like super blind. Not saying that like everyone can't see it, but these are like if you go to any of the bosses, they're like two tiny little circles at the top right for
on this
the
big
bosses
monster.
debuffs. Yeah, and then on your side, on the opposite corner, top left-hand corner, it's your own personal like two tiny little circles. I'm like, really? Like I can't even move them together or something? Like I can't move elements, shift elements or anything?
There's another thing too about bosses. I think we're never gonna get this, but I think for people like the sacrifice and like the big plant Booba Girl, I swear they could add a FOV slider or just make the base FOV way more zoomed out. You're fighting the boss and your feet POV the whole fight while they're summoning lasers from their head. I think it's insane.
Yeah,
What
I
were you
don't
gonna say,
know. A chatter actually just brought this up, and I
More
think
accessibility settings would be really nice.
Oh
Because
yeah.
different people see different people see differently. Moving around UI elements should be standard.
yeah, the interesting part though is that all of this is kind of it exists in Honkai Impact 3rd, so why not in the other games?
Yeah.
You know,
and, like,
you actually have like real buffs and timer displays and stuff.
Yeah,
And
it is a
loadouts and
balancing
whatever.
act. It is a balancing act. I think for like we can just go back to the granddaddy of them all, Genshin, right? When you add like a million little timers and icons and stuff, it's overwhelming for the casual player base, and it kind of like cheapens their immersion in their experience. For us, that's what I want, right? I want to see all the, like, if you guys have seen anything in World of Warcraft, I have no idea what I'm looking at. All I know
Dude,
is
for real. Yep.
That's
So-
what I want. I want my mythic timers. I want my
oh my gosh. Yeah.
Dude, that World of Warcraft is a perfect example, actually. I want to lose like that game in like 2025. If you don't have like the third-party plugins, dude, I don't even know how you would play that game. Like they have like bells and whistles, notifications, like like they give you vocal calls or like move now or like, you know, move out of the way. Like that's crazy. Like imagine if we could
That's
do
crazy,
even
yeah.
1/10 of that in like any of these games. It would be amazing.
You don't just need all
Yeah.
that. You need like 10 years of knowledge and experience, right? Like you have to like basically take a course on World of Warcraft or play it for, you know,
Nah,
400 hours to reach that point.
You have to-
I don't think so.
No?
But
Okay.
no, I promise you, if I explain that to you once, or you just play with it for like 20 minutes, you will be totally fine. But point being, I think in the end, it doesn't really matter whether or not it applies to casuals or to more of the hardcore player base. There is something which you can introduce, which is called a setting.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I'm all for that, right?
just add it, put a setting there, disable it by default, and you know the hardcore players then will just go in anyway.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like,
Point out something that I feel
Also-
like people haven't noticed with Natwin, the off-field Night Soul characters have a Night Soul indicator on the side of the screen.
They
under
do.
their health. So they could theoretically just kind of backport that, give Bennett a little indicator under his HP on the side of the screen, just a timer for the buff. Same thing for Xingqiu or Yelan. They could do it.
Shield
It's-
HP.
It's sort of already here.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of
Shield
stuff.
HP is bizarre that we don't have.
Yeah. No, it's their design choice. They're sticking with it, or they're just like, too much effort, too little gain. I don't know what the mentality is behind it, but
Oh.
yeah. Yeah. Okay.
What do you guys think about pulling from Mindscapes to try and keep characters relevant, like DPSs? I just had a question,
relevance we're
and I
talking
was
about.
like, I thought to myself in my head, pulling Mindscapes to keep DPS characters relevant is foolish, because
It is.
eventually they don't keep up.
Okay. I don't ever want to call what someone does in like a game that they're trying to have fun as like foolish, unless they're wasting all their money. That is foolish, right? But let's say they
Oh shit.
let's say they like Lighter or something and they just want him big punchies to look big, or feel bigger or something. Yeah, just pull his Mindscapes if you want. But I agree with you from like a meta perspective. It's almost always pull the new character, right? Like if you want to keep up with the meta, it will just be pull for the new character. This character will last for about 2 to 3 months where they're at the top of the meta. And then after that, they'll be, near the top of the meta. And then 1 year to 2 years from now, they will be bottom of the barrel. And that's just the life cycle of, any character in gacha games. So you come in for a character you like, enjoy it for 2 to 3 months, and expect them to fall off. And that's my opinion. There's very few exceptions to that rule, like Kazuha or, I don't know, maybe Astriel, we'll see. And so on and so forth. But,
Bennett.
yeah, Bennett. Hey, you don't have to pull for Bennett. He just graces you, right, as a 4-star. But, yeah, that's how I
I
feel
believe
about
in
it.
simping.
Yeah.
If someone,
Yeah.
if you want to pull constellations for a character, pull them. Saying to keep them relevant is where it's a bit more dicey.
Yeah.
Here's an example. I really like Evelyn. I'm strongly considering pulling M2 Lighter this rerun.
To, like, keep her
because it's
relevant?
very good with Evelyn. Not to keep
Oh,
her
okay.
relevant. It's just very good with her. It's more damage. More damage.
Okay,
I
because
don't
I was
think
gonna
you have
say,
to worry
aren't
about
you
keeping it
aren't you
relevant.
M6
Yeah, you
too?
have M6.
You, me, and Riv are all M6, right?
Yep.
Dang.
You guys are whales.
Dude, I haven't activated mine. I'm
Someone's
so
gonna
sad.
type.
I'm so sad.
I can't believe I'm the only non-whale. Like, I'm one of the non-whales here in this game.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yo,
Okay, for what it's
all right.
worth, I haven't. This is the only. That's the only character I've M6'd. Everyone else, I'm like
Same.
M1 or like M2 on accident or something.
Yeah, but you guys have like a C6 across like all the Hoyo games, so they guys have you by the neck at least somewhere. They have you somewhere.
Yeah,
Okay,
I have it in Genshin.
I will not bring up the Star Rail incidents. That game has got me. And Arlecchino. Well, actually, I didn't C6 Arlecchino, but dude, Firefly and Kafka are a bit. Hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Tax write off, ding dong, tax write off. Time for us to. But I mean, I don't know. I think there's, you know, it's not as though this is a finite, like though we're looking at the past to kind of predict the future, there's nothing that says that they can't change things, which again, like I'm sure we're all hopeful for, and we're just like looking to see like past trends. But I think like if there were maybe a game to do it, it would be Zenless.
Zenless, save us all.
They're very, very, like, I think, you know, I think Jenna said it like earlier. He was like, stop, like keep holding your money and not spending on Zenless, because it's getting better and better every time that you spend less and less.
Yeah.
Which is like crazy, obviously, as like a crazy comment. But I mean, if they decide, like at some point there's like a breaking point, they're like, you know what, we're gonna break the glass, like we're gonna buff old characters. I mean, that would be, you know what I mean? That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? Like imagine a Hoyo title in 2025 where there's like balance patches to the characters. Like that's like a fairy tale. If you told, like, I'm sure if I told, like, I don't know, 2021, 2020, I win to lose, he'd start like laughing at me or something. Like if I told him that was coming in like 2026. But I mean, like with Zenless, I don't think they've ever been so like, what is the word? Free thinking or open thinking. Like I don't know. I feel like they could have just let Zenless keel over and like explode. But they've been experimenting with the mode. Like realistically, for what reason do we have ranked Fall Guys? Like they didn't have to do that. Really, they didn't. You know, the Caesar like driving mechanic too. They didn't have to do that. You know, like there was no reason to do that. And like importing the entirety of like a Vampire Survivors-esque title into the arcade, like all of these are, you know, I think they could have still made money without them.
Yeah, I will say standardizing mini games in these gacha games is like a Hoyo thing, right? Like they pioneered the industry with this, with Genshin Impact, having all its mini games every patch cycle. So it just kind of depends. Like, oh, do we like do this mini game or that mini game for this patch cycle? But no, yeah, it's great. Zenless feels like it went kind of above. Like you can see the extra effort that they put into the mini games for each patch, in my opinion.
Okay, they just copy pasted that stuff from Honkai Impact 3rd. Let's be fair here.
Did they? Or was this stuff in Honkai Impact? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you have Fall Guys, you have literally every single event we have had in ZZ has been an event in Honkai Impact at some point.
Like the
thing
Vampire
I'm-
Survivors?
No one ever played Honkai Impact, so no one ever knows.
Yeah.
I mean, apparently
Yeah,
people do,
tough.
but
You don't know the lore? Genshin is a marble universe sitting on a shelf in Honkai Impact 3rd.
Dude, someone did explain a bit of the Honkai thing where it's like everything. I don't know if this is like I don't think this is a spoiler, but like apparently all the Hoyo universes are like branches on a tree or something, and they could like actually do some Marvel thing, which is why Welt is in.
Bro,
I'm not.
That's only
aware
with
enough.
the Honkais. I think Zenless, they said specifically, is not a part of the universe.
yes.
Dude, just give
That
me
is
May.
true.
Just give me May, bro. I'm not asking. I'm demanding now. Like I
Not
need
happy.
a Raiden
Alright.
Shogun, bro.
I just hope we find out before we die.
What? Find out what?
The answers to these questions.
I mean,
Getting philosophical.
Hey, they're taking their sweet time, man. They're taking their time with this
maybe
stuff.
for like the 3.0 of like a are they? How far is? Well, I'm sure none of you guys. Well, actually, do any of you guys play Honkai Impact? They I heard
I have played it in the past, but
I heard like the end of 1.0 was peak, and they had like those animations that were like giga peak, and then they like had to rebuild it back up because they started with like a new cast in 2.0 or whatever in the second Honkai. Maybe for like the third Honkai, they'll be like, actually, guys, look at Bennett, or like, actually, guys, look at Nicole in Honkai Impact the third. That would be actually fantastic. I would love so much more. What is it? Cross pollination between the games, because there are a few. Dude, I would love to have a Kiana in this game. Though I guess that's
My problem
kind of
with
already
them
Andy.
adding a bunch of characters from a previous game is it's kind of lazy. Because eventually, let's go like very exaggerated. You're playing like the 5th game that comes from Hoyoverse, and they're just using the same cast of characters with like a reskin that was from their first game. and it's like the OG players like that. But then you learn about it as like a new player, and I feel like it probably gets like a little bit annoying or something, you know?
don't
I
know if
personally
could
like
take
it,
another Raiden.
but yeah. Oh, oops,
Yeah,
wrong
actually,
character.
I don't agree with you, Gib. I want 6 different Raiden Shoguns in all of my Hoyo titles.
I do like Raiden though, so you know I'm a half and half on my thing. But I do like just unique new characters that aren't just.
I mean, for what
from-
it's worth, the characters in this game do look extremely different. I was a little bit afraid for a little while. I think it was right before or during Miyabi where I was like, dude, I hope they didn't go with like this whole street core, like this different kind of like art style for them to just go back to like, okay, everyone's like a, you know, like a samurai warrior or like wears like, you know, attacks with fans or something. Like I'm
Yeah.
really glad that they stuck with their identity as like this, like a diverse cast gacha game. Like, you know, that panda guy, like what the, like, what the hell are
The
we
panda
talking
guy
about?
looks so sick.
Like even Trigger, like Trigger, it looks so much different compared to like all the other characters in the game. I guess like maybe it looks similar to like Soldier, but you know,
Well,
they
I
could
mean,
have
they're
just
from the
said screw
same,
Soldier.
They're from the same faction.
Yeah, I know, but you know, like they could have, if they wanted to, they could have been like, hey guys, Soldier's just gonna be in the trash can for about 2 years. And
I actually would appreciate seeing a Genshin character or two pop up in Zenless. I think it'd be cool.
That'd be crazy, man.
I think, to be honest,
They can just print money like that.
yeah, they might
Mhm.
consider it.
Yeah.
Yeah, from a support for the game perspective, it feels like, and I think
They
it's something
might
someone brought up earlier, but it does feel like Zenless is trying to win us over at the moment, right? Like there's a lot of positives to it. I imagine, yeah, like I'm not going to say anything about the anniversary. We've already said we shouldn't expect too much, but like I imagine it'll probably be okay, right? And we'll come away feeling pretty good about it. And you know, they've listened, they
I
make
imagine
changes, the
everyone
old
will get
changes.
20 wishes and a skin, the anniversary standard.
Okay, yeah, that's, well, to be honest, that's the Hoyoverse standard, right? But yeah, like I guess what I'm trying to say is that yeah, I think it would, from like a devs listened perspective, it would be like, oh holy shit, we're getting Raiden Shogun. And it would probably potentially bring in a bunch of gacha enjoyers
Yep.
outside of Zenless.
I actually would agree with
So-
that. I think from a business perspective, it actually would make sense to just say, holy shit, look, you are getting a free Dr. Ratio, except it's not Dr. Ratio, but Raiden. You know, and suddenly the Genshin Star Rail players are, holy shit, my waifu is now in there, I have to play this game. And it's free too, you know? I can see it.
They gave everyone a free Haramasa, and you all complained.
It's Haramasa, dude.
it's true. People do not like that character, man.
People complained?
Okay.
So, like,
Well, about how he plays, I think.
Yeah,
No, the
well,
problem
it's
is-
free.
Yeah, again, it's not about that. So, it's not about just having any free character in this case. The thing is, if you want to get, basically, if you want to convert Genshin or Star Rail players to, or even Honkai Impact 3rd players, you know, to Zenless, you want to have Raiden in your game. And if you can say, okay, we now XP Raiden and we XP it directly into ZZZ, here, she is so cool, look how she plays, insane, holy, a boba, whatever. And, you know, then she's also free, just log in within the next 3 weeks, whatever.
so I guess
Yeah.
like, we need to talk about what's her official name is Yi Xunyan?
Yijuan.
Yijuan.
Yishuan.
No,
Yi
Yi Xunyan, the character from the end of the teaser, who's in the quotes for the panda giraffe.
Oh, right, that one.
Her Chinese voice actor voices Kiana and Hu Tao. And
Oh, holy based.
they wouldn't be able to bring over the English voice actors or the Japanese voice actors.
Oh.
So maybe they're doing it already? Maybe.
Dude, this is just like a random like pause afterthought, but can I just say, dude, I am so goddamn psyched for that Cyberpunk collab announcement. I know, just like the Star Rail one, we are not going to get any news for that for literally 2 years. But like when I heard,
the music playing.
when I heard the music play,
play,
dude, I got Dude, to say I got chills is an understatement. My skeleton started wiggling, bro. Like that was a crazy reveal. Like I thought that, you know, like throughout that live stream, I was like, oh, they're just gonna say, oh, guys, guess what? Here's a, you know, I mean, actually they didn't even, but they were like, I was expecting them to say like, oh, free selector, or like here's like some polls or whatever. Then the collab, that I hope we get something for Zenless, man. Actually, I don't know if you guys know, like what happened to the Street Fighter collab? I thought we were supposed to get something with them.
Dude, when are we
No,
getting
Street
that?
Fighter was just
No,
the
they
devs
just wouldn't
talking
talk.
to each other about like fighting games and how they're inspired by it. It was more, I think it was more of like, because EO really likes it, right? I think it was more for people that play fighting games and play Zenless. It was like for them to like geek out with each other, you know?
It was
Oh,
press.
I thought it was
Yeah.
implied for a collab. It wasn't?
What, Street Fighter?
Yeah,
And
Street Fighter.
the Street Fighter?
It's really funny when you watch that interview because the Street Fighter producers are all Street Fighter 5 sucked, so we made Street Fighter 6 good. Just like every question.
That's a crazy interview, I guess. No, but I mean, I don't know. Hoyo has collabed with what? Evangelion and Honkai Impact?
Alloy?
Okay.
Oh,
all
God.
They have the
right.
best collab ever.
Anyways,
So that they
Dude,
can
we
get the
didn't
game
talk
on
about good
PlayStation.
collabs, okay?
They've
dude,
also
if
collabed
they
with themselves, Honkai Impact 3rd has Honkai Star Rail characters.
Oh, yeah, they
like
have
Sparkle
Fischl
and
and
stuff.
Fischl.
They already released Sparkle. They Kutzing and Sparkle and Fischl are all in Honkai Impact 3rd.
I don't know.
Oh,
There's just
yeah,
something
Sparkle's
about
in
like
it,
seeing
that's right.
Lucy or David, like in my Wuthering Waves game. Like I don't even know how they would look. Like it would have to look so different.
Well, there's a place called New Federation from the beta, and it was like more, I guess, like city type. So if that's like the 3.0 place, I don't know. Did you see the thing where they said they're trying to do a big update every 6 patches?
Well, I didn't, but just think about put I don't know if you can do this, but like literally put an image of a Wuthering, like the resonator, like any resonator, and then put Lucy or David. Like I'm very hopeful, of course, and I don't think Kuro's gonna like mess it up or anything. But part of me is scared. Like on the topic of Street Fighter, oh my god, did you guys see that Spy Family collab? Oh
Yeah,
my
your
god!
skin is so bad.
If they do that, I would be so pissed. It would actually be diabolical. Like that would be the worst feeling ever. And again, like to be clear, I don't even know if they could, because like, you know, Wu is a pretty 3D-ish looking game, and like, I mean, the Cyberpunk anime is full blown 2D. So like, I don't know how they're gonna appear. They're gonna have to look like a little goofy, I think, unless if I don't know, they're like made of paper or something, like some square plane. But like, I don't know. I've never seen a game try to do that where they're like, hey, we're gonna go out of our dimension and do a collab. But I guess like Wu also hasn't done collabs like that in general.
Well, how does Asuka look in Honkai?
Pretty good, in my opinion. Maybe I have an unpopular
let me
one
look.
there. I think she looks really good, like the source material, you know.
Okay. Then I guess it can be done.
I mean, we also can kind of just look at other games, right? It
Oh, this
doesn't
is
need
her.
to necessarily be. I mean, yeah, that's not too bad. I actually haven't really looked at the Asuka part.
I mean, yeah, I guess this looks fine. The thing is though, like that's like part of the thing I was gonna say though. I can like low key, like if they announce like Cyberpunk and Zenless, I actually would have thought that would have made more sense as like a collaboration, because it's like, oh, they're like dystopian city like esque, like urban city esque kind of landscape. I'm like, because I did this like early, like I did this like one day. I put like David and Lucy, like, you know, just their characters next to like a bunch of the resonators, and I was like, I will have whiplash looking at these characters, as I'm sure you do with like any collab character. But like, it's just like, what is that? Like, why are the characters like that?
Okay,
But I don't know. Maybe they'll cook.
I see what you guys are all asking for now. You guys want Paimon in Zenless Zone Zero.
Wow.
Oh my God, of course.
Let's
Holy
not get out of
shit.
ourselves.
Wait, are we past the point where like no one cares about spoil, or like it's okay to talk about story spoilers for 1.7?
I haven't even played 1.6 yet, so
Yeah.
Is this about Paimon?
Wait,
how did this
Paimon's in
Paimon?
this?
Yeah.
This is not. But I mean, we were about to. Well, I wanted to talk. Well, I was gonna. Okay. Well. Okay. I won't talk about it. I guess I don't want to spoil anything. But
Oh, you're talking about a Bang Boo. Oh, okay, I know what you're saying.
Oh, okay. I have no idea what you're talking about. I personally don't, care that much, but, that's my opinion. You gotta respect the other people, so. Does anyone here care about spoilers? Hey,
I
Ruben?
usually kind of do, but it depends on the spoilers. If it's,
it's okay.
like,
It's okay.
oh,
It wasn't that deep of a comparison. More like a joke, if anything. But
again, if it's not like, oh shit, I don't know, Asuna dies, whatever, just random name here, then I don't really care about it, I guess. It's like, I don't know, if you tell me, wow, there's a new Bang Boo which appears, which looks like Paimon, then I'm just gonna jump off the bridge or something. I don't know, man.
you
In-game.
gave me
No,
not
there's no
very
time.
good outcomes for.
There is a Bang Boo.
There's-
In-game, okay? In-game. Like...
Okay, let's see. Yo, a chatter said, Kill la Kill collab would be good. That would be crazy, man. This chatter's
it would.
cooking.
It would fit for Zenless for sure.
That's actually...
yeah.
I would
yeah.
100% got right where you go.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Would they do skins for both outfits? Like the casual.
That would be
streetwear
crazy
and
if they had
Dude, the
Yeah,
first ever
that would be
$50
good.
skin. It's like just both.
Oop.
Oh, actually, wait. One of you guys mentioned or talked about skins earlier, and I mean, like, I know it's it. Sometimes it's unfair to compare game to game, but I do think it feels a little bad when, like, I think the costs for Jinxi's skin and Asha's were kind of comparable, and like, dude, that Jinxi skin, like, okay, honestly, I don't like her hair, but oh wait, is hers 50?
Is the Shinchi skin not $50?
They're both expensive.
I know they're both like
I think
on the higher
Jinxie
end.
skin is like 35, if I remember correctly, but maybe that's with the discount. I don't remember the exact price of Jinxie skin.
Well, in any case, I just, even if it's for like a bit of a higher like price point, I think like having new effects, like, dude, they changed the dragon in that skin. Like, that is crazy. Can you imagine if, like, I don't know, like they released like a dark flame Miyabi or something, and her sword was just like a dark purple or something? Like, dude, that would be like things that affect like the particles and stuff, dude. Honestly,
Play Genshin, actually.
dude,
They did this for D-Luke. They made Dark Flame D-Luke.
Yep. D-Luke has new sound effects.
That D-Luke skin is so bad,
Yes.
though.
Yeah.
They even replaced the sound effect for his C4 proc. They replaced every single sound effect and
Whoa.
voice line.
dude.
Someone's saying Jinshi is $50. Is
Yeah,
it?
I think it's 35 with discount and 50 with. You know how like skins get discounted
Yeah,
for the
yeah, yeah.
schemes that they came out?
Yo, that's That's
Yeah, I
actually
think
crazy. That's
That's actually
expensive.
so much.
Yeah.
I mean, for what it's worth, if you take a look at it, it is like,
Bro, dude.
like if you, like the skin is cooking. Honestly, like I don't know if
yeah,
you've,
yeah,
like,
but
taken a look
we're
at it,
still
like,
talking like $50 for a skin, right? Like,
But you're paying a game for a skin on your
to me,
character.
I get it. Hey, listen, maybe
Would you
I'm the
rather-
sucker that they're
would you
appealing
rather
to.
have the Jinshi skin? Would you rather get the Jinshi skin, or would you rather max refresh for 5 days?
Oh,
I think the
it's
answer is
either.
obvious. I'd rather max refresh.
Wait, what? What? Max refresh? What the? Max
Classic
refresh? No way!
Yeah, you have to understand there are two kind of people. There are the people like us who are just gooning over, like Naked Changli, Naked Carlotta, Naked Jinji, whatever.
wait,
And
one of
then
them wasn't
Jay
like the
Stern
others.
exists too. The others are Jay Stern.
Yeah. Didn't we watch that? Aren't they getting beach skins? When's our beach skin?
Yeah, the 2.4.
Dude,
I will be
Dude,
getting the Changli
please.
skin no matter what.
Look,
dude,
my
I do like that
opinion.
Changli skin a lot too.
My opinion is the more free shit they give, the better, right? Since we already pay $200-300 a character, just give us free skins, man. Y'all Y'all be
Well, I mean, like this
stingy.
goes back to like what I like. They can do that, but I mean, like this goes back to like what I was trying to say from like the beginning, which is like, if you want to buy the skins, I mean, or like choose to skip over the skins, like that's fine. However, like the brain rot in me is gonna be like, dude, $50 like summer Evelyn skin, dude, I'm buying. Like, I'm sorry, like
I'm part of the problem too.
Like,
I buy.
Like they
I buy.
change her. Like they change her like her whip thing, her like string thing into like a pool noodle. I'm buying it. Like I'm sorry, like that's just me, bro. Like
a pool noodle, dude. They gotta bring you on now.
Dude, like I'm telling you, bro.
I will suggest something here. I personally think, that's like wishful thinking, but I personally think it would be really fucking cool if every time they release a skin, so basically they always release 2 skins, and you can choose which one of them is free.
Dude, Riv.
So,
yeah,
for example,
let's do it. Now, Riv
instead of like, let's say you have like the Gensi skin and the not the Gensi. Let's take the Nicole skin and the Ellen skin. You would be able to choose between these 2, and I think that would be totally fair. You can have always like a premium skin who is always just better, but I mean the Ellen skin, it's just that already existed in the game.
I mean, looking at the store and stuff, I don't know if any of you guys play like turn-based games, but like I come from like Epic 7. They got rid of this a long time ago. But like one of the systems that I really like the most about it is they used to give skin tickets in some of the battle passes, and you could use the skin tickets. Like, to be clear, it was a long time. You had to wait I don't know, like 6 months. But like if you buy the battle pass, like you get like, I don't know, like let's say you get like 5 skin tickets, but you need like 100. You know what? Like honestly, if I get like a free skin after I was already gonna buy the battle pass anyways, I mean, kind of, that's kind of like a win for me. And like, I don't know about you guys, but like at the end of like the Zenless battle pass, it's not like you're really even using any of the things, or what is it? It's like a hodgepodge of like gold disk drives or something and credits. Like,
yeah,
I think if you give, if you had a system like that where it incentivizes, like, of course it would be like from the premium pass, but like just as like a kind of, like a handshake or like a pat on the back, like, hey, you know what? Like it obviously doesn't have to be 20 either, but like $10 or sorry, like 10 battle passes, like you get like a skin, and they could like rate it, because that's what they have in Epic 7. It's like they have tiers of skins.
The problem with that is they release so few skins.
They do.
It's kind of a miracle that Astro released with a skin.
True.
Usually, I'm going to talk about Genshin Impact for a second. So, the way Genshin releases their skins, they do a skin for a 4-star and a 5-star. The skin for the 4-star is always free. The skin for the 5-star is always paid. They have this really bad habit of only making skins for characters people aren't playing as much anymore.
I'll take that up an ante.
Skin coming out 5 years into the game, like hello.
I'll take that up an ante. They release skins for characters that they're about to power creep.
I think like it's directly intentional.
Skin, the Xiangling skin, we got the Hu Tao skin, we got the Shenhe skin, we got a Ganyu skin.
I guess they're already power crept, yeah.
We got Kutsing skin. We got a
man, you got a good memory,
Diluc
man.
skin. Diluc's the only premium skin.
Yeah, and Diluc is different.
I really wish they made skins while the characters were still popular in the player base.
That doesn't.
Since we're talking about skins, allow me to introduce Girls Frontline 2 skin for every character in the game, pretty much. And
dude, that game
all
is
of the characters
too.
come out with the skins. I think like every character's coming with the skin. If there's someone that doesn't have a skin, it's because it's in China and it's not on global yet.
No, I agree. The skin situation is comically, like, I don't know why they don't make more. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be also such a stable, permanent income, It's like a one-time thing. They make the skin once, and afterwards it will sell for the rest of the game's lifetime.
Like not to
I
like
the Astra skin.
I was gonna say like not to like defend them, because I'm sure Like they don't need defending, but like to play devil's advocate for a reason, if they've not done it for this long, there must be like some data or like some test or like hypothesis that they ran that said that like skins like equals bad or something. Cause like otherwise I feel like, you know, even compared to their like their competitors in the space, like Azure Lane, like Nikke, Arknights, like I feel like, well, I don't really know too much about for like Arknights, but I feel like so many of these other games, if they don't release like a new skin for a character, they're like, okay, Evelyn, but it's like winter, or like it's like Asha, but it's summer, or they have like some like, you know, they'll have like a winter or like a different limited version of a character, which I mean, you know, maybe that disrupts balance.
Impact Third does the most skins, and there are a bunch of characters that release with skins. I think the last example was Sparkle released with a skin.
To be fair, in my opinion, especially Honkai Impact Third, every character is essentially a skin, because you just have like 7 different Bronyas. Sure.
Oh yeah, when you get that far, it's a little crazy.
Oh my gosh, double. That was a crazy like you know, the screen that freezes when you beat a mission. What is that called?
Yeah,
like a name for
the
it?
wipeout.
Yeah,
the
the
wipeout. Yeah, the wipeout screen. That was a crazy one.
If
All right,
you-
anyway.
I think in theory, I have an idea. They want characters to have a consistent look so people can be more attached, and it's also easier to merchandise them
Mhm.
and have more people
That's
buy
fair.
the merchandise.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree with that.
character having a consistent look matters for that.
It's fair.
They
Actually, I
want-
thought about it, and I was it like, okay, maybe the reason would be, okay, if they release too many, I don't know, Hu Tao skins, you know, the Hu Tao players wouldn't pull for Arlecchino because they now have a Hu Tao skin, you know? And they wouldn't want to replace the character which they already have a skin for.
I think
But-
like a
No,
des-
everyone says
like a
everyone says
common
the Tower Latino thing.
yeah, like a
Really,
common
doesn't
design
play
person.
in the same teams at all.
No, they don't.
Kind of
no.
a weird comparison. Yeah.
I think it's
It just
because
was a random.
J-Stern, you play the game, and a lot of people are they're looking from the outside in, and they think 2 pyro characters, and one is old and one's new.
No, I actually just only took Hu Tao because I know that she has a skin.
Okay.
That was literally,
I think we're about to
literally
get
the
a more-
only
Well,
example I
I do
could
think
think of.
people compare Hu Tao and Arlecchino a lot, and that's why.
I mean,
This is
fair
like a-
enough,
we're
but
about
that
to
was
get
It's
not
like
why
a
I
very
chose it.
casual. They're both pyro characters, so, and they're both DPS, so they both get compared.
coming from like a purely like to be clear, I played Genshin when it came out, got to like whatever the max, like whatever 40 or something was at the time, not max, whatever. I just got like completed everything, and I was like in that lull where there was like a month of no content between like 1.0 and 1.1 or something. But I've like come back to get like Hu Tao, and like I got like Raiden Shogun like C3 or something, and I've gotten Arlecchino. What I will say though is that like this is just like in relation to Hu Tao, I don't think it was, you know, I don't know if this is like something that any other like Hu Tao players have like experienced. And apparently, like I didn't even play Arlecchino even though I love that character. But like I just honestly, the reason why I stopped or didn't play the game at all was actually because Hu Tao just kept hurting herself, and I did not like being at half health. I was very uncomfortable.
Oh, I
Like,
thought
was
you were about to
really
say something like
upset.
Xiao Junk about, but I thought you were about to say you didn't like that the game was hurting.
Dude, I just like I don't know what it is. I was so triggered. I ran like Barbara or something, like C6 Barbara, and I'm like, dude, just heal me! Like, damn it,
You
bro.
don't like
why am I-
Berserker characters.
Dude, I just didn't. Is Arlecchino the same way? If she is, I'm actually that's a rest in
Well,
peace
So
moment.
instead, Arlecchino literally
She just
cannot
can't
be
get
healed.
killed. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Can she be shielded?
Yes.
yeah.
Yes,
Oh, sick.
but
sick,
none
sick,
of her
sick.
best teams have a shield besides C Lolly.
Well, there you go. That's her best
That
team.
is unfortunate.
But yeah,
Sidlali
Lali's
also has a
shield
shield.
is it's pretty flimsy though, so it's like
Yeah, but you know, it has a shield.
it does.
Dude, I missed back in the
Underappreciated.
days, bro. Like I did play like a slight brief, and this is the only time I was able to justify playing Hu Tao. It was like that little period, I think in like, what was it, like 2.0 or something, or Hu Tao was out, and Zhongli had his like his like 40k barrier, and I was like, yeah, try and hit me now, bro. I've got like a 4 second cooldown on like an infinite shield. I couldn't die, and I ran that for all of eternity, and then I like took a break. I think it was like in the middle of COVID as I was moving or something. I came back and someone's like, yeah, by the way, they introduced enemies that break your shield. And I'm like, okay, I'm done.
No,
like I can't play Hu Tao
They
anymore.
chomp through they go through your shield.
Yeah, they do true damage.
Corrosion.
That-
yeah.
Dude,
Okay,
if
guys,
they
I'm
do
gonna have
that,
to drop out. I'll
oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
See you later, man.
Sorry.
Alright, see ya, let's
Thanks for having
game,
me, though.
good
It's
luck
been
in
real.
jail.
It's been nice getting to know you all.
Yo.
Yeah. I'm gonna see you
Thank you for
later.
inviting me.
Thanks for
Yo,
coming.
see ya. Thanks for stepping by.
Bye.
Honestly, I'm probably also gonna head out relatively soon. I'm so fucking tired, man.
Yep, I got
Yeah,
a
it's
few
like-
minutes too.
Yeah.
A few minutes
All
left.
right.
Alright then.
Okay,
That's
boys.
probably-
This is the prediction part, the final prediction part of the stream. Okay.
Okay,
Alright.
we're ready.
What are we hot take? What are you gonna predict the I guess predict
Oh.
the rating of the Wuthering Waves anniversary events and like the activities and the Zenless anniversary activities on a scale of 1 to 10. Like, what do you think WUA's is gonna be, and what do you think Zenless is gonna be?
What activities?
Yeah, what do you mean by activities?
Well, like they
I think
don't they
Wars
have
will
like
be about as well received as Star Rails, and I think Zenless's has an advantage because it's the version cycle, and there's a ton of new content coming in
Yeah.
anyway, devoid
Yep.
of the events.
Also, another thing,
which-
that's not talked about, the World Anniversary, a lot of people were disappointed because a lot of people look at leaks, and there was like a leak saying like a bunch of insane stuff was going to happen, and none of that happened because the people were listening to leaks, and the leaker people just like spout out nonsense.
Yep. Classic leaker L. No joke.
Yeah.
No joke.
Cool.
I mean, yeah, I was just saying like cuz I'm curious. I'm curious if Zenless is going to be like I don't know. To be truthful, I am hopeful that 2.0 brings me back to like 1.4 feeling. Dude, I don't know. The pacing and how long the story was from Miyabi's story, that was like actually cinema. I had like real chills playing that whole story.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But like ever since then, like the patches have been okay, but like I was not in love with like Astra's. Like Ambi's was pretty cool. I think Ambi's was super dark, so I'm hoping it's a 10 out of 10. And I'm placing my predictions. It's a little biased. I guess I'll give it like an 8 to Zenless and like a 7 to WUA. But I think the events from WUA's 2.3 look amazing. Like the cube shit and the
Yeah, that's basically
the
Mario
roguelike.
Party.
You know, you can promise the world, and people will still ask for more.
Cool.
So, let's say they do the thing that Genshin and Star Rail have been doing, where they give out a free standard banner character. Would people be disappointed it's not a limited?
That
Would people have the gall to go? It
I
should
mean,
have been a choice between Zuyan, Ellen, Qingyi, and Yanagi, or whatever.
I think
There
for
will
Zenless that won't
always
be the
be,
case.
right?
I think like there's gonna be people that think that, but I think the overall impression for Zenless Anniversary is lower.
like the expectations. and
Yeah,
stuff for it. I think that too.
expectations lower.
Well, I think more than anything else, I think after the WUA fiasco, I feel like if you do expect the moon and you get dirt, like I feel like everyone in whatever community, I mean, most people don't give it, they don't even know what the hell we're talking about. They just log in and they get it. But like for the active spaces, I feel like with how big the backlash was, I think someone said it was like 250,000 like regardless of botted or not, like comments under like the WUA anniversary. Like there's no way that didn't kind of catch wind a little bit. And so like if anyone's like, if we even get something like that, like a selector, and someone goes, shoot, like how come I couldn't
Wait.
use it on like
Oh, I'm on
Yichuan?
Astra.
Dude, just wake up. Like you should be ashamed. Like you should just be ashamed. Like, you know what I mean? Like not to like
At
bring
the
it out
same
of the space,
point,
but it's like if you
is
fall
that
for
any-
like the NFT things, like dude, at some point like it's your fault. You know what I mean? Like you can't
Is
keep
that any
falling for it.
different from people being upset about 20 wishes in a cosmetic?
Sorry,
Like,
did you say
going
would people
back
be
to
upset
WUA.
if they get it?
So 20 wishes in a cosmetic is the standard. That's what Genshin does. That's what Star Rail does. That's what WUA is doing. is it is expecting a selector that different from expecting a limited?
A selector
like a free limit?
is. I think a selector is lower than a limited in expectations.
Yeah.
Because like a selector at the end of the day has like no value for most people. I mean, first year
Yeah.
it'll have some value, but like once you go into like second, third year, the selector has like no value. When it's standard selector.
I mean, Star Rail's kind of changing it up. You know, they got like
they gave out Ron, May, and Locha.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I'm sure they're just like testing the waters, and I'm not saying they can't go like further with it or anything, but you know, we got some potential somewhere, right? Like, what if Ruan May and Luocha are like we can't even compare it because those are 2 point. Were those 2.0?
1.0.
No.
They're
Those are-
1.0 characters. Ron May is 1.6, Locha is
Yeah, well-
like 1.1 or something.
Yeah, which is 1.1.
So it's like if they gave us like actually Astra and like Astra
Yeah.
and Caesar or
If they
something.
give you Astra long after she's been power cropped.
I mean,
So like if
Yeah.
they gave you Caesar now, I guess.
I don't know. I think that'd be pretty cool. I guess it depends though. Like if Caesar doesn't get corroded like Zhongli, dude, I'd always appreciate that guy. I love that playstyle.
Oh,
I
I mean,
also cannot
corrosion's
stress how much of
basically
a fan I
gone.
am.
But yeah.
Oh, is it gone? Really?
I mean, very
They
few
made it for
enemies do
Coke.
it. Like, it's mainly the Rift Hounds, and they're never around anymore. So, yes. The bigger issue now that Zhongli has is that your team now just doesn't do enough damage to clear the content. Because instead of adding shield bypassing mechanics, they increase HP pools. Right.
Wait, actually, I apologize because I know, like, you know, I'm bringing this up as like a final topic, and I know you guys are probably a bit tired. One of you guys, I think it was you, I win or lose, or
Yeah.
one
what's
of you
up?
guys mentioned earlier that the HP pools had to be like adjusted for like post initial release, so they
Yes.
were like obviously inflated.
Hmm?
I don't know if you've seen it for this game or if it's trended in Genshin and Star Rail. Is it like a finite ceiling for the inflation, or is it that it literally keeps going? Like it keeps going. Like let's say it's like 2 times the health now. It's not just like 2 times the health because like they're accounting for like level 60 gear. It's like now 2 times, now 2.5, now 3,
Well-
now 3.5, now 4.
Well, Genshin added a 80 to 120 million hit point event. Of course, that was just a side event, right? So similar to Deadly Assault, but
Genshin actually
It's-
been pretty unique with its, or was pretty unique with its endgame design.
yeah,
Spiral Abyss uses the 4-player HP scaling used the 4-player HP scaling for enemies. So they constantly introduce new enemies with higher HP, but that HP multiplier was consistent until just this year. So it used to be 250% HP from single player enemies. Now it's 325%.
Oh,
And with
Oh.
that, we're seeing older enemies be added to the Spiral Abyss again.
I think they
and it's
manually
not something
tweak
where
it
it's
too.
like, and it's not something
Yeah,
where
they
like
do.
old enemies, like let's say like new enemies don't have like a consistent. It's not like new enemies like start with like 325, but like old enemies that start with 1 get multiplied by 325. It's like all the enemies across the board have like plus or like multiplied by like 325.
Roughly, something like that. The
Ooh.
most important thing is that the HP pools are going up, right? But
Mhm.
you know, so is the damage that the new characters, are doing.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
I-
I don't feel too strongly either way. You know, like ultimately for most players, it's the difference between not getting an additional like 30 primo gems or 60 maybe. So it will matter a little bit more in the Imaginarium Theater coming up. And that's a different event mode or a different gameplay mode. But yeah, we'll see. Actually, I don't know what I'm talking about. Never mind.
It
They announced you had to get Stella to get the Sanctifying Elixir. That was on the live stream.
Oh, okay. I see. That's good.
Like, you're safe.
yeah. A detail I missed.
It would be really cool Genshin could get other game modes. Deadly Assault has been such a success in Zenless. I'd love to see it in the other games.
Dude, they gotta
Bro,
add it.
Genshin, they need to add, bro, they've been lacking on the biggest
They
thing that
haven't.
could make the game revolutionary, divine ingenuity. They said they were going to make it permanent like 3 years ago, and they just capped.
What is Divine Ingenuity?
Which one is that?
But it's where the people can make their own maps.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I think
That's
in the
literally
key
the
file, isn't it?
best game mode in the game.
Wait, sorry. What? I just came back. What game mode?
It's like Mario Maker, pretty much. Mario Maker inside of Genshin.
Oh,
They had it twice, and both times they reset all the maps, everything. But they said they were like planning on like making it permanent and like finalizing everything, and it would get like updates and stuff. And it's just like
They probably will.
just like the Genshin anime.
Yeah, the Genshin
We
anime.
got the music stuff permanent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is the rhythm
music
game
event
permanent now?
over Divine Ingenuity.
So I guess to answer Kana's original question from my perspective, I'm one of the players. I don't care about story and I don't care about events. So when it comes to both Zenless Zone Zero and Wuthering Waves, sure, they just get a 10 out of 10 for me. You know, 'cause it's all the same. I do the event.
You just like the. Yeah.
You know, I will say the only kind of story that I am really like curious about is actually the upcoming
Battle
Genshin
Cats.
one. No, Battle Cat's story is epic. All right, you have no idea. The doggos invade, and then the cats beat them up, and nothing changed. That's the entire story, and it's perfect the way it is.
Holy.
Bobby.
No,
Dude, I
but
will
yeah.
say, shoot, I forgot. No, sorry.
I'm
You guys go on.
very excited for that one to be over.
I'm excited for the upcoming
Yeah, okay.
Genshin patch actually, because we're circling back to Mondstadt finally. So it's going to be
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
Story.
I cannot wait to skip that page. I fucking hate Mondstadt.
What?
Yeah,
that
but it's
was
a
like
Beto story.
that's where everyone
That's like
had
the
like the
coolest
most
thing in the game.
memories. Like that
Yeah.
that early
It's by
area.
far the worst region. It's the most boring one, and I don't give a fuck about any of their characters. Sorry, I've introduced
What?
Chat.
What the fuck?
So-
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Bruh.
So objectively speaking, from like Rivenus isn't incorrect, right? Do you guys remember the absolute like dog shit Dvalin fight and stuff like that? Like there was a lot of bad.
Yes.
There's a lot of bad stuff.
Hey, Dragonspine is peak.
Dragonspine, yeah, it's pretty good, and I agree with Rivenus.
I
in
think
the
he's talking
sense-
about base Mondstadt though.
Yeah.
Base Mondstadt is pretty bunt. It's pretty bunt.
the design of Mondstadt, you know, in my opinion, was clearly ripped off of like the overall environment and look of Breath of the Wild, right? And then once you kind of get past that, Li Yuan and stuff, then it starts to look like it's completely its own identity. Once you hit Inazuma Sumeru, right? But initially, the green grass and everything just looks a lot like BOTD, in my opinion, Mondstadt. But you know, I still like the region a lot, right? Like the story and stuff. But I see where he's coming from.
Yeah, I don't know, for me it just felt a little bit basic, and I personally just don't really care about the characters. I mean, sure, you know, that's just a very subjective thing, but
Yeah, I'm invested in Mondstadt's story though. Like we're finally circling back to like Varka and stuff, which is kind of insane.
yeah, I mean, they can make that cool, you know, just because I'm not excited for it or looking forward to it doesn't mean that they can't make it engaging for me when it drops.
Yeah.
To be fair though, I will say, again, I don't know how much you guys like read the dev notes or like saw like the upcoming like 2.0 trailer. Dude, they need to tell us if we're gonna be playable or not in Zenless.
They're
I need to
implying
know
it.
if I'm about to piece up with Bell and Wise. Like if I start punching or if I have like a gun or something with Bell, that would be so crazy.
Yeah,
Again,
no.
I don't. I don't know if they're saying because like the wording, excuse me, the wording was very vague.
You know
They
what I
followed it with
said?
like. Go
I
ahead.
just want ES. Give me support ES, stun ES, attack ES, defense ES.
Dude, you want power creep in the Bang Boo meta? That's messed up, man.
Oh man, not the Bang Boo meta.
Yeah, playable Bang Boo. They
Yeah.
said we'd get a playable Bang Boo
Yeah.
in an event.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm so like I feel like I'm getting like I feel like I'm getting led on the whole time because like when they talk about it, like when Y talks about it in like the dev notes, he's like, yeah, and like we're gonna be taught by Yizhuan, and she's gonna teach us powers that we've never seen before, and it'll like allow us to do things like be in the hollow without having to be at the TV. And I'm like, okay, does that mean it's just functionally? Like, is that your explanation? Like,
a lore explanation for the new.
Yeah, it's a lore explanation of the quality of life that they added.
Yeah,
okay, because
I
don't know, man, because we got like, well, I don't want to say nothing, but like, you know, the story is cooking. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean,
and
I have to say, I would fucking hate it if we suddenly can just go into the hollows. Because the entire story was always about, okay, we need ferry, we need to navigate these hollows, and suddenly we can do everything ourselves. Have you seen one?
Buddy,
does he know?
Buddy,
does he know?
This guy has not completed 1.6.
Yeah.
You might want to not. You might want to never do the story. You might want to never. Do
Okay, I guess I'm just never gonna do the story. That's okay. No, but it's like
man, you guys saw what the siblings were like with Bringer, right? Like that shit sent chills down my spine. I was like, what the?
Yeah,
the Bringer scene was fucking cool though.
Yeah, so when they had like the eye glow, I'm like, dude, like, dude, we're superhumans. Like, let's get it.
They're
like,
the true SS rank agents, guys. They're the true SS rank agents. It's a matter of time.
You know, I really don't. I want the quality of life. I really do want this more seamless experience between the exploration and entering a mission.
Yep.
I have no problem with being able to enter hollow in the lore if it facilitates an improvement like that.
Yeah, whether it's as Eos or as Wise or Bell, to me it's the same. Doesn't matter much, right?
I will say as like a final note, my tinfoil hat is that Bell and Wise are the last two Void Hunters, bro, and then like they're gonna do the reveal, like some Power Rangers like boot up, and it's just gonna be too peak, bro.
They're
like that.
Dude, they're actually mechanoids, and then they transform, and then they bring Eos. Eos is like the center of the body, and then Bell is like the legs.
The Power Ranger robot.
Yeah, and then Wise is the top with the head on top, and then you just start beating the shit out of everything like that. That's
Dude,
what I expect.
Please.
There we go.
Kaiju fight.
Bro, dude, if they add like a Sam to this game, man, oh my god.
I mean, there's that Seed guy from Mobile Squad.
Spoiler alert.
Seed in this update. People are upset.
Yeah.
They changed all of the references to Seed to be female in English. As I understand, they were inconsistent between different languages.
Oh.
And there wasn't a consensus, but now they've unified it.
Okay.
Dude, honestly,
I don't even keep up with this. Like, those are some crazy details. Man.
Yeah. Honestly, though, that's kind of fine. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the men in Zenless kind of got it. Like, dude, this Hugo character looks like surprisingly extremely fun. I'm a big fan of Lighter. And
where's Pompey?
Oh, dude, Pompey was pretty cool. I did like his design before,
Talk about. Oh man.
About
okay.
Hugo, I'm impressed they were able to make a character who can play a team with only men.
We don't know about that yet.
No, like numerically speaking, we have Lighter, we have Hugo, and we have Billy. Perfect team.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, you're right. You can't always play whatever. But
Yeah, they probably showed it. Did they show it on the live stream? I don't know, man. Probably.
I have no idea. I'm just gonna play it safe. I don't know anything.
Right. Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna head out though.
Yeah, I gotta head out too. It's fun just shooting the shit with you guys. Yep.
Yes,
So-
3.5 hours. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice to meet everyone.
It's really nice to talk to everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, likewise. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining in. I do
Nice
wish
and
you a good, nice day, evening, whatever.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take care, everyone.
Sometime again, maybe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye
in the
bye.
future.
Peace. All right. I guess it's just me and you guys chat for a little bit. Hang on. Let me fix all my game settings now, because it's all messed up. Okay. There we go. Turn up the music. Okay. All right. Guess I'll sign off in a bit. So I guess, yeah, this is just kind of our first little experimentation, just yapping together. I was kind of curious to hear from you guys really quick. What would you kind of like to see from more of this style of content? It's obviously not something that I've done regularly. Perhaps like more organization when it comes to topic discussion or something. Yeah. So whatever you guys think, let me know. I think the VOD will just go up on its own, and you guys can leave comments there too. So, as always, though, really appreciate you guys stopping by and just hearing what some random blokes online are yapping about. Let's see. Here we go. So, okay. All right. Better get going soon, too. Gotta take the kid to a little event or something. And more structure, less people. Yeah, that's very good feedback. I feel like maybe more people with knowledge on the game. Timeline for discussion would be nice. Getting dragged along current discussion isn't too bad either. Yeah, Gobot didn't talk as much. Yeah, it'd be nice to like kind of figure out better ways to incorporate people to discuss more. I think Average Luck Gamer didn't talk much either, unfortunately. So yeah, gotta try to include people a little bit more. Maybe more of a timeline and stuff. I think my delay is a bit long, so I'm finally reacting to the comments to this, so it's a bit slow. But yeah, nice talking to you, Gib. Thanks for stopping by and stuff. Rivenus is the one that organized this, so big thanks to him. Go check out his channel as always, and Gibbs and Average Luck Gamers, Gwilbot, so on and so forth, and Genizad as well. Stop by. Hopefully I'm not missing anyone. If I am, I apologize in advance. But yeah. Talking more about the game? Okay. Someone needs to be the MC/host. I was thinking like, maybe should we do like face cam for some of us, and then like throw up the Discord as well, so it looks a little bit more engaging. Maybe something like that might help, so you can kind of see the faces actually yapping as well. So does Gacha need saving? Here's my opinion. I guess like, yeah, I didn't even really address that throughout this whole thing, but my opinion about Gacha is that it's becoming a more maturing industry. So like Genshin was really kind of the one that mainstreamed it. And because of that, it had like an insane boost in popularity and stuff like this. And right now, the industry is trending towards, I would honestly describe it as stagnation, right? And there needs to be something that kind of brings it out of that state that it's in. And the question is what, right? It certainly likely isn't going to be like anniversary wars or something, as important as I think those are for us as players. But as an industry, we're going to need a new like Genshin basically for it to really like pop off and something crazy to happen. But hey, in the meantime, like my priority, have fun, and is to just have fun. Like I enjoy playing these games, and my objective as a content creator is to just show you how to have fun with these characters and how to enjoy the game. And ultimately they're just video games. Just you do what you want in them and do what you don't want. Spend money if you want, don't spend money. So that's kind of my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. In terms of whether or not I want to make a more frequent podcast or discussion, I actually feel like this went a bit better than I didn't really have any expectations though. So this was good. This was fun. I enjoyed doing it, and maybe we can just chat with more people, get more perspectives, kind of use this platform to just express our opinions and stuff. And yeah. So having some kind of host/MC would be better. I think Rivenus did sort of play that role, since he's one that kind of organized the event and stuff. But yeah, maybe we'll make this a more frequent thing, but we'll see. Why don't I make DPS showdowns with Zenless Zone Zero characters? I'm just going to be completely straight honest with you. Is because of skill issues and time, right? Those are the two main issues. But this account is actually set up to do reasonable DPS showdowns. But there's another issue too, is that the balance of the game is very, very variable, right? Like, for example, if you think like Genshin, it's kind of hard to find a good, like, balanced point in terms of gameplay. This game is even more difficult because we always have these, you know, very specific buffs and these insane buffs and stuff like that. It is very hard to kind of have an even playing field in Zenless Zone Zero. Even harder than Genshin, which is kind of insane for me to say, because Genshin was designed, every single encounter has like its own little quirks and things like that. This isn't like Guardian Tales where you have a literal punching bag to test your maximum DPS and stuff like that. It's not like that, no. So it's hard to find a balanced ground there. But HSR content, yeah, I'm sorry, MZH 111. It's been a hot minute since I've played HSR, and ever since Wuthering Waves came out, I just didn't have the time to cover another gacha game. If I ever do cover another gacha game, like before another major one is released, it'll be this little guy right here, Battle Cats, because that's the shit there. But yeah. So no, Riv does play. He spends a lot of time playing Zenless Zone Zero. Okay, he just doesn't like focus on the story and stuff like that. Don't worry. Okay, Rivenus does play a lot of Zenless. Do I think Zenless is mostly a skill check? Okay, so to clear the content in Zenless Zone Zero, starting off the game is mostly a gear check. Okay, like most people that properly build recent and relevant characters, in Zenless Zone Zero's case, every character is recent and relevant except for maybe Ellen. You'll be able to clear the content for the most part. Most people will be able to do it. But to really like excel, to get like 40,000 or like 45,000 plus to 60,000 clears in Deadly Assault, that's a skill check, right? Like I'm going to definitely, if I want to try that type of content, you know, I'm going to have to do a lot of research and practice to pull it off. But yeah. Okay, let's see. I think that's about it. I think, you know, we've covered most of it, but the main thing for me is kind of deciding whether or not this type of content is sustainable. But it was fun, and we'll see what comes from it in the future. So again, really appreciate you all for coming by and stopping by to listen to us yap. So all right, everyone, that's it for me. Got to take my kid to a little kid museum, and I will see you guys next time. Oh, one last thing for Malosme. Sorry if I'm being selfish here, but I really want an answer from a content creator. Vivian or M3 Jane or Lighter for M0 Evelyn. M0 for Evelyn specifically, you definitely want Lighter. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. Just M0 Lighter is fine. So all right, guys, peace out. See you guys next time, and thanks again.